is one more race that remains in the regular season for the Ezra Pro Series. The All-Star race was a humdinger last Monday night, with featuring the drivers of the Thunder and the Pro Series battling it. When it was all said and done, Tucker from the Thunder Series, the regular season champion, won that event. Now the drivers, after a week off of points racing, are back to the whip again. But it's not going to be easy. The 3/4 mile, Richmond Raceway, is the site of the next round, the final round before the beginning of the playoffs. And it's live on LSR TV, your home for sim racing, and listening live on the CRN Sports at wearecrn.com. It's the Barnes Paving night at the races in Richmond, 280 laps here on the 3/4 mile. Good evening, I'm Wesley Outland, fresh in from Kentucky and Nashville, and joined alongside is Spokane, Washington's Greg Rentz. What a fun time we had last night with the Northwest Tour, and now Charles Wooten in the production chair. He's ready to go. We're ready for this broadcast, Greg. It should be an exciting virtual race. One race remains to go to the playoffs.
This is it, Wesley. It all comes down to this. And we saw in real life just yesterday what happens when a cutoff race hits a short track here in the world of stock car racing and virtual racing, of course. We're going to see it again here tonight. 280 laps on the 3/4 mile Richmond Raceway. And Wesley, Richmond Raceway's team in real life is a big advocate of sim racing, so much so that the virtual Richmond Raceway, where we sit tonight, has their own Twitter account. Believe they're the only track that has a Twitter account for their iRacing edition of it. So Richmond, a big advocate here for sim racing, and we couldn't think of a better place to end the regular season than right here.
It's going to happen right here tonight. The Barnes Paving 280, the next round again. This is round number 10 for the Ezra Elite Sim Racing Association Pro Series. Again, we're ready to go for this event. We're going to wrap up practice here in just a moment. We're going to go right into qualifying, and we'll see which driver can put down the best lap to give themselves the opportunity to be on the pole. We look at the point standings as we move into this race. Qualifying forthcoming to begin. And again, 31 points back is Brian Wirtz to Matt Lovett. Matt Lovett is the points leader. Brian Wirtz is back at 31. 42 back is Anthony Thitchner. Hank Kasten, 48 back. 49 back, Matt Cherry. Alec Coates is 6th, 66 back. Josh Mayu, 7th, 84 back. Casey Gilchrist is 8th, 86 back. Casey Knighton is 93 back in 9th. And Brandon Fronapple, who has missed the last couple of races, Greg, is outside the top 10 right now.
Trying to get back into a good position here, Wesley. Playoff cutoff, and as of last week, only 2 drivers were locked in, those being Wirtz and Lovett. We'll have to see, of course, whose names are in the green, whose names are in the blue, and whose names are in the red moving into tonight's race. A big bobble there from Brian Wirtz on qualifying in that number 82, and that's going to negate his first lap, so he's going to have to give it a shot again on lap number 1. We move over to Matt Jorgensen in the new look, number 51, coming to take the green flag to begin his first of 2 qualifying laps.
Matt Jorgensen on the speedway. We just saw the number 82 just finish up with his lap on the clock. Of course, that was the driver of the number 82 machine of Brian Wirtz at the Dark Horse Racing, 24 years old in Byron, Michigan, the NVIDIA Arizona's Peace Tea entry. And now, of course, the next qualifier we're watching is going to be Matt Jorgensen in car number 51. He's a free agent out of Omaha, Nebraska. Sponsored by the United States Air Force, the 34-year-old ready to go. We'll see what time he puts down on the clock. And right now, Hank Kasten, the Charlotte winner, will go to the top of the board in the car number 36. And there goes the car number 24 of Lottison. He'll go 3rd overall right now. And we think of Chase Elliott, the big win he got at Martinsville yesterday to advance in the championship 4. Ryan Hedrick, we'll see what kind of luck he has on the Napa colors of the number 9 machine right now, as he is the next man out on the speedway, the number 9. For Incognito Racing, Southern Illinois driver in the Hooters Napa number 9 machine. Again, that is Ryan Hedrick.
A Napa 9 car, like you said, won at a short track in Virginia, but yesterday. Today, We're at a short track in Virginia, and there's a Napa 9 car on the track. Maybe Ryan Hedrick can keep that streak alive here as he crosses the stripe at a 21.655. That will put him 5th here in this qualifying session. Still Hank Caston on top of the board with his teammate Matt Lovett just behind him, and then Josh Mayu, Sean Laudison, and Ryan Hedrick rounding out the top 5. 13 drivers have taken time thus far, Wesley.
Yeah, right now 13 drivers. Here comes the number 48 machine of Matt Cherry, the Talladega winner. We'll see what he can do. Matt Cherry in the number 48 with the colors of Jimmy Johnson, who will run his final Cup race at Phoenix this weekend. Matt Cherry for Incognito Racing, the 32-year-old out of Scottsville, Kentucky, the Lowe's Ally Bank entry, 9th season on the Pro Tour. And currently Matt Cherry sits 5th in the standings. Kind of be rest assured he's going to the playoffs after this race ends tonight.
Cherry, of course, driving. I believe that may be the Noah Sweet version of the Ally car. Yes, it is, Wesley. That was the car that iRacing painter Noah Sweet was allowed to paint for Jimmy Johnson to run. I believe it was Texas with on that paint scheme. That's the scheme that Matt Cherry's driving tonight. We've seen Cherry drive various Jimmy Johnson paint schemes throughout the course of the season, including his win at Talladega. Here's a guy who's running a classic Kevin Harvick paint scheme right now. Stephen Evasius in this number 12 car has had a lot of speed this season. Wesley just has not broken through for that win just yet this season.
Yeah, Stephen Evasius in that number 12 machine on the racetrack right now. He currently sits 15th in the point standings as the qualifying is closing to an end. Stephen Evasius, the free agent out of Lubec, Maine, and the Good Ranch number 23-year-old, 4th season on the Pro Series, and again right now 15th in the point standings. And so far only 16 cars have taken time. Caston right now the quick man of the car number 36, the Charlotte winner. That race we thought would never end. He's currently right now the quick man. Lovett second fast, Mayu third, Cherry, Laudison right now the top 5. And again, we will see if there's any more takers, but the clock is running short. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll introduce the starting lineup for tonight's race at Richmond.
ETE Reman is the world's best remanufacturer of transmissions for import and domestic cars and trucks. Based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our customers are repair shops, auto parts stores, dealerships, and distributors. And with 6 nationwide warehouses, we're where and when you need us. So when you're looking for a transmission that is like new, only better, instill confidence and install ETE Reman.
Welcome back to Richmond. It's the ESRA Pro Series, final race of the regular season. This is race number 10. Let's give you the ComServe Wireless starting lineup for these drivers as they get ready to go. 280 laps around Richmond Raceway. Hank Caston, the fast qualifier. He's on the pole. To his outside, Matt Lovett in the 41. Row number 2, we'll find Josh Mayu in the 02, and the Talladega winner, Matt Cherry in 48. He'll start 4th.
Sean Laudison in the number 24 Jeff Gordon tribute with the flames on the side will start 5th with his, well, Hendrick brethren, but not his teammate Ryan Hedrick in the number 6, or the number 9 in position number 6. You'll find Brandon Fronaffel in the 7th spot, back in the field after missing a couple of races. Casey Knighton to his outside in number 84.
Row number 5, starting 9th, Casey Gilchrist in the 26 machine. To his outside, Stephen Evasius in the number 12. That's your top 10. Row number 6, starting 11th, it's Edward Jurgen of the 92, and Matt Jorgensen in car number 51.
You're going to find Jake Elrod rolling off Lucky 13 in the number 14 car with Casey Clark Jr. He had a great run in that All-Star race last week, Wesley. He had Scooby-Doo on the hood of that car. He came home second. He looks to build on that from the 14th position here tonight. Art Moline going to start 15th and the number 15 with Michael Woolley, the final car to take time, Wesley, and with a 42-second lap, Woolley was kind of just pacing himself, trying to get as far back a starting spot as he could get.
And but guess what? There's still other drivers that are running in this event, including Trenton Barnes in the number 1 machine. He'll start in the 17th position. Brian Wirtz in the 82. He'll start in the 18th spot. Row number 10, top 20. Josh Klinger in the 17. To the outside of him, the 55. That's Brett Edwards.
You're going to find Alec Coates rolling off in the 20th position. There with Jake Fluman, 21st on the chart. Sorry for the confusion there. My live time and scoring went a little wonky. Jake Fluman and Alec Coates making up row number. Evan Keese going to round out the field in this one. Kyle Ramsey is race director. That is why he does not have a number next to his name. 25 it looks like cars here for this one tonight, Wesley.
That's right, because you have drivers like Ryan Dipple and Jason Wiley in the operations of running the series for Ezra. So there is the lineup. We're set to go. 280 circuits around the 3/4 mile, Richmond Raceway. Final race to lock in the drivers that are going to run for a championship beginning in the playoffs beginning next Monday night. And LSR TV and CRN Sports will have you there for the ride along the way. The lights are off for the pace car. 1 to go. When they cycle back around, these 26 drivers in their kaleidoscope of virtual colors will giddy up and gallop around Richmond Raceway to determine who will be the 10th race winner of the season in race number 10 and to lock their opportunities to run for an Ezra Pro Series championship. The Thunder title has already been decided. And now we see the best on the Pro Tour this Monday night. It's time almost to go, Greg, at Richmond.
Looking forward to this one, Wesley. Short track racing for 280 laps. And the green pace car is going to pull off, and here we go.
Pace car is in. Here comes the Warlords, ready to come for a virtual gunfight. 280 laps. We're kicking the asphalt. Green in the air. Monday night, Richmond underway. Underway here at Richmond. Opening laps. Understanding 23 drivers officially taking the green flag. There's other names on the scoring ticker, like also Trent Barnes, who was from the Thunder Series. He will advance into the Pro Series playoffs next week, but tonight he'll sit out. But 23 drivers so far at the whip, doing good in the opening couple of laps, Greg Rance.
3 laps in the books. Hank Aston has led all 3 of them in the number 36. The last time this series went 280 laps, he was the winner. That was at Charlotte, though, an entirely different racetrack than the one we're at here in Richmond, Virginia right now. Hank Aston leading the way, though, working lap number 5, but he's got one of the strongest cars all season long right behind him in Matt Lovett. And Matt Cherry, the Talladega winner, trying to play spoiler as well and lock himself into the playoffs.
Underway. Caston, the man out in front in that number 36 machine. Matt Lovett, Matt Cherry, Josh Mayu, and Hedrick in the top 5. Fronapple on the outside looking in. Again, he was 10th in the point standings. But again, Greg, the man out of Virginia has not ran the last couple of weeks. Good to see the 5 car back on the circuit tonight.
Well, we're in Virginia tonight at Richmond, and you got to figure, well, the Virginia driver might as well make an appearance at what I guess could be his home track here in this series. Between that and Martinsville, we'll have to figure out exactly which one is his home track. Started 7th up to 6th in the number 5 car right now. And Wesley, Brandon's kind of the grand poobah, if you will, the big daddy of this series, the one who is kind of the one pulling the strings in this series. Good to see him back out there.
It is. Working now, 7 laps completed here at Richmond. 280 laps the distance. Hey, don't forget, coming up, you like the playoffs? It's next round coverage of the West Bay Napa Auto Parts playoffs, round number 2. It is going to be at the Watkins Glen International tonight, 11:15 Eastern Time, 10:15 LSR TV time on your home for sim racing and on CRN Sports. Watch these battles now going off into turn number 1 behind the 24 of Lottison. This is inside the top 11 and 12 of Asius Woolley, starting to also pull away from Clark on the back straightaway.
Woolley, remember, took the strategy of taking a slow qualifying lap, qualified 16th quick on the board out of 23, because remember, the final 7 or so did not qualify, elected to take provisionals to start at the back. Woolley already up 4 spots into the 12th position after starting 16th. Looks to me, Wesley, that he is the biggest mover of the field so far. Him and Josh Klinger are both +4 on the race, so trying to make their way up. Actually, Evan Keese up 5 positions now in number 46. So some drivers beginning to make their way up through the field. Biggest loser thus far is Sean Lottison and Matt Jorgensen. They've each lost 5 positions.
And we watch this battle continue down the back straightaway. There's the 82. That's Wirtz, and again, he is right now inside the top 15, battling with Woolley, Coates, Clark, all in this mix, and they're going to stay nose to tail, single file, as Clark right behind Evasius for that spot. Here comes Wirtz, and here comes Lottison now, trying to make a run inside the top 10 around Gilchrist and Jurgen, going for the inside. He'll clear that car of Jurgen as they go to 3.
Jurgen trying to hold on, but not able to do it. In that number 92, he had climbed his way into the top 10 and is now in the 8th position, as he was actually passing Lottison, got the wires crossed there. He's up 3 spots now. First driver to start outside the top 10 to crack the top 10 here tonight. Stephen Vasius in the number 12 has fallen back to 11th after starting in 12th. The Kevin Harvick tribute kind of just riding around right now. Things settling in here in the early stages. Matt Cherry has gotten around Matt Lovett for a second. He's got about half a second, though, to try to catch up to Hank Caston in the number 36.
Riding on board with Lovett in the 41 machine. The man out of Bristol, Tennessee, doing a phenomenal job, ready to lock up the championship for the regular season in the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Second season on the Pro Tour for the 30-year-old out of Dark Horse Racing, and the man has a 31-point lead over Brian Wirtz, who is right now mired outside the top 10 and 13th between Clark and Woolley. And Lovett beginning that quest to run for a championship, but one more pinnacle, the battle here tonight at Richmond. Regardless of what happens tonight for him, he is going to lock in for the number 1 seed for the championship. He currently has 4 wins, 8 top 5s, and 8 top 10s for the man of the number 41.
Lovett has been one of the strongest cars in the field, Wesley, and he actually appeared in another Cup Series that we broadcast here on LSR TV a couple weeks ago. He competed in the S&B Cup Series on a Wednesday night with his teammate Hank Caston, who leads the way right now. They competed at New Hampshire a couple of weeks ago in that race. Back home in the Ezra Pro Series. Speaking of that series that we broadcast on Wednesday nights, the SNB Cup Series, they're coming up with a return to action on Wednesday here on LSR TV.
They will. As a matter of fact, speaking of Joshua Altus, from the Virginia native, he is actually watching the broadcast in the chat box right now, so via LSR TV. Hey, by the way, while we got a break in the action, check out the new LiveSimRacingTV.com, an updated, enhanced, better experience for you, the esports fan, with the schedules, with the live race broadcasts. When we're live on LSR TV, you go to LiveSimRacingTV.com. You can watch it in real time from the broadcast feed. Links to CRN as well. Also, in-depth race analysis and race recap stories. So much more. The new LiveSimRacingTV.com. Hank Caston leads the way. They work their way off the corner. We're 20 in this time by Greg.
20 laps in. Hank Caston has been the dominant car all race long thus far. He's led all 20 laps that have been completed here on the Richmond Raceway. He's opened it up over a second now over Talladega winner Matt Cherry. The Charlotte winner looking very strong here in the early stages here, Wesley. Looking to go back-to-back in 280-lap races, trying to click laps away. He's up to 1.1 seconds, so the gap is beginning to grow. Meanwhile, Brandon Frohnapple beginning to put some pressure on Lovett. That's for third.
And while that happens, we continue to see them battle for this position. There goes the 82. Works trying to get around that 92 machine, and that is Jurgen. Evasius right there in that battle. This is inside the top 10. Outside the top 10, excuse me. But Brian Works, the man second in the points, will now advance up to that number 10 position.
Oh, we got caution.
We got one spinning down below the bottom of the racetrack. It's the 92.
Jurgen.
Yes, Jurgen's car goes around. 23 laps in, first caution here at Richmond in the Barnes Paving 280. Greg Rance. Swag replay coming up.
Let's take a look at what happened. He's back there with Wirtz. Evasius behind him. Hearing Evasius may have been a part of this. And
oh, yeah. Oh, man.
Just got on the throttle just a little bit too early there, Wesley.
Hit to the left rear, and around went Jurgen. Evasius able to continue along. A single car accident down at the bottom of the barrel there. Bottom of the racetrack. We're riding on board now with Jurgen in 92, and this will pretty much tell the tale. Watch that good wrench, number 12. Shades of what the Intimidator used to do. Look out. Wow.
Just unfortunate. I don't think that was anything intentional, Wesley. I think that was just getting back on the throttle just a little bit too early there.
Yeah, I don't think it was anything intentional. He just got to the left rear and around he went. Under caution. First time in the race here. 25 circuits going to be completed this time by Edward Jurgen and Brett Edwards, obviously on the pit lane. Nobody else has decided to come down to pit road. We are underway. 25 in this time by. Let's take a look at your saw blade. Well, go ahead, Greg. Go ahead.
Sorry, Wesley. One driver has already loaded it up and headed back to the shop. That is Art Moline in the number 15, loading it up and pulling out here at Richmond. He is going to finish 23rd of 23 here tonight.
A tough break there for Art Moline again, out of the race in that number 15 or the number 1 machine. Tough break there as he has definitely had a couple of bad nights the last couple of races. Jake Elrod on the pit lane. Art Moline in the 15 from St. John, Canada. The Pirate entry is out of the race. Look at the saw blade, top 5. We'll look at your weather conditions real quickly as well, as track temperature is about 5 degrees warmer than the current ambient temperature outside. Partly cloudy skies. Full moon Monday night virtual racing at Richmond. Sawblade.com weather conditions there. So, and we will stay here on the air. No commercial break. Then we will get ready to go back for the restart. We just wanted to show you the weather conditions there. Yeah.
Lights are still on the pace car, but we are getting close to the restart here. Hank Caston has led every lap thus far here, Wesley, but Matt Cherry right there in second. Now is going to get a shot at Caston, but the guy I'm watching, as I always do, Wesley, I like the guy in third on most restarts. In this case, it's Matt Lovett in the 41, and I like the guy in third usually on restarts because he's able to time it with the leader and just go when he goes. He doesn't have to watch out the side like Matt Cherry's going to have to do here, because leader controls restart. Caston will go whenever he feels necessary, and Lovett can take off the moment that he gets going. So it'll be fun to watch Lovett and see if he can get up around Cherry.
5 degrees track temp, warmer than the ambient temperature. Is that pretty abnormal for right now, Greg? What do you think for November racing?
Yeah. I don't know.
Lights are off for the pace car. It is.
It is 2020.
It is. Lights are off for the pace car. They will complete 28 circuits when they come back around to the green flag, working lap 29. And we're ready for the restart. Nobody came down on the pit road except for Elrod and Edwards. Hank Caston, Matt Cherry, row 1. Matt Lovett, Brandon Fronapple will make up row 2. Josh Mayu, Ryan Hedrick, row 3. Sean Lottison, Casey Knight in row 4. Brian Wirtz, Michael Woolley, your top 10. They're back in the Geico restart zone. Green flag goes back in the air. We're back to speed. And again on the outside lane, Charlotte winner. Hank Caston pulls away over the points leader. Lovett, we're back to the whip again out of 2.
Much like I thought, Lovett was able to get around Cherry into number 48 and go right to work on his teammate Hank Caston into number 36. I think Cherry's a little bit better than Lovett on the longer run, though, so we'll see if he can get back up there, but he has to check up because Fronapple putting pressure on him in the number 48. Hedrick now to the outside. Ryan Hedrick having a great race thus far. Started 6th, up in 5th, trying to get around Fronapple for 4th.
Back straight away, there goes the 9 car. That's Hedrick. He's in the top 5. Got around Mayu. Now trying to get around Fronapple in the 5. Little side-by-side battle there behind him. They'll fan back out single file. There they are, top 9 cars in the draft, single file up the racetrack. And here comes a gaggle of cars now fighting for position. Clark's on the inside, Mayu on the outside, and open up the door for Evasius. Powering through, getting by Woolley in 3.
Evasius trying to come up through the field after the problems that put them under caution. Wesley Evasius trying to climb back up, cracks the top 10 once again. We've talked about it throughout the course of the season. Evasius has struggled in finishing a race. He has had a lot of speed in the 12 car, but has just not had the luck that he needs to be able to put it together. Once again, a lot of speed in the GM Goodwrench Chevy. See if he can get up there and seal the deal here tonight. In 10th right now.
Yeah, I think to continue your point on this subject is, Evasius has got a really good car, but he's got to get there at the end, and he's been trouble having that happen. Matt Cherry up the racetrack. He's up the hill out of turn 4. Opens up the line on the inside for Josh Mayu. Hedrick tried to shut the door to reel in on Cherry, couldn't find an opportunity there. He'll have to reel him back in, but he's also under attack by the 0-2. And that is actually the 82 of Matt Wirtz trying to go down to his inside, but there's Cherry in 48. He'll now try to go after Mayu again for that position. This is for position number 4 off the speedway out of 4.
Wirtz on the inside of Hedrick. This is for the 6th position. Give it to Wirtz at the line. Here comes Sean Lottison in the number 24 trying to follow suit as well. And then Casey Clark Jr. lurking back there. This is also bringing Evasius and company into the picture. By the way, Wesley, Wirtz is the biggest mover. He started 17th after not qualifying up to 6th here in the number 82.
Caston, Lovett, Fronapple, Mayu, Cherry, your top 5. Working now 35 in. There's Lottison in 24. Clark right behind him. 1 caution so far, slowing the race after an incident involving Jurgen on contact with Evasius' car. Evasius was able to continue along. Jurgen on racetrack now, on the currently 21st position on the racetrack. Now we got a side-by-side battle. Got Hedrick up the racetrack, battling along with Woolley for that spot. He's in the inside. In the middle goes the 46 machine. Keys thought about trying to make a pass for 2 for 1, but it couldn't reel the deal there, Greg, as they go to the 3.
Just trying to make his way through the field patiently is Evan Keys. He started 23rd after not qualifying for the race. Took a provisional, started tail and Charlie. He's up to 12th, trying to get around Hedrick right now in that number 83. So work to do still for Keys in the Bass Pro Shops entry here this week, but a lot of speed in that number 46 car. Kind of surprised, Wesley, that he elected to not qualify and take the provisional with how much speed he's got in that Camaro this evening.
40 laps in, 240 laps remaining. 140 laps will be the halfway mark of the race. And right now we still continue this battle to 46 On the inside, there's Keys. Got to run on Hedrick now on the bottom. It is just opportunity awaits for him to go to the inside and get a move. Hedrick will power back on the outside lane, and they'll battle door to door at the stripe, side by side. Outside looking in is Combs in the number 10. He's going to weasel down into the inside and carry Fluman with him for that spot inside turn 2.
Fluman's another driver, Wesley, who's had some bad luck in that number 22 throughout the course of the season. Good to see him keeping it clean thus far here. He's up 7 positions, trying to get an 8th one right now from Hedrick in the number 9. Fluman started in 14th. Or started in 21st, is up to 14th, looking for 13th right now. As Hedrick has been shuffled back, Wesley had a very strong car in the early going, up in the top 5, has been shuffled back on the outside. Struggling in that number 9 now is Hedrick. Not missing anything up front as Caston has began to pull away, but there is a change for second position behind him as Josh Mayu has gotten around the second place driver, Matt Lovett. Moved the 02 of Mayu up into second.
And we continue to watch these drivers battle for position. Look at now the outside lane. That's Lovett. Mayu on the inside trying to battle. There's Fronapple for second position. For Exley for third. And Fronapple will take it. Lovett will fall back to 4th. The man at the top of the pendulum in the final race of the regular season before the playoffs, falling back now to 4th. Greg, you think he's points racing right now?
He's just riding it out right now, trying to stay clean and just ride it out. Maybe save it for the end, but there's no reason for him to push it. He's locked into the playoffs. His teammate Hank Caston not quite locked in yet, though, so he's got to go out there and wheel it and try to make it something happen. One car on pit road, Wesley. We've got our first taker on pit road, Ben Carver in the number 28. We'll see if he comes down into his pit stall and blows up, or if he's just coming down for some tires in that number 28 car. But one car on pit road for the first time. That's him, Ben Carver. Right side going up on the 28, coming around to take on the left sides. We'll see if he rolls out or if he's just calling it a day.
Ben Carver, Racing Electronics entry number 28 machine. On the pit lane, looks like he was taken on a pit stop, but now he just sits in the pit lane. We'll keep an eye on that number 28 machine, the developing story on his car right now is Ben Carver still in the pits, currently sitting right now in 22nd and going laps down for the driver of that number 28 machine. Ben Carver again in the 28 on the pit lane out of Kannapolis, North Carolina. The Racing Electronics entry, 41-year-old, second season of the Pro Series, and he is part of Hughes Esports on the team. Got a battle for the lead brewing up now as they're almost trying to reel each other in. Josh Mayu showing signs of life, closing in on Caston off into turn number 2.
Mayu's the fastest car on the track right now, Wesley, trying to get around Hank Cassidy, who's led every lap thus far. They're going to start lap number 50 when we get to the line this time, going to complete lap 49. Hank Cassidy has led all of them thus far, but this is going to be the first real challenge he's had so far today. It's going to come from Josh Mayu in the number 02. Notice Mayu taking the lower line in turns 1 and 2. Cassidy able to get a run down the backstretch. Let's watch going into turn 3. What does Mayu do? Does he try the same thing, go lower? Yes, he does. And Caston took a much higher line there, Wesley. Almost looked like he was going to be inclined to just let him roll through, but was able to shut the door. 50 in the books, 230 to go. Caston's led them all thus far, but under pressure from Mayu.
Josh Mayu, 7th in the point standings. 3 top 5s, 5 top 10s, no wins this year for the driver that is 7th in the standings. Hank Caston, the Charlotte winner. 1 win, 1 pole, 4 top 5s, 6 top 10s here in race number 10 tonight. And right now, the man out of Lyons, New York, Josh Mayu in the 02, trying everything he can to run down Marietta, Ohio native Hank Caston for the lead as that goes on just after 50 laps.
2 separate battles going on in the top 5 right now as Matt Lovett coming back after Fronapple in the number 5. He's putting pressure on for 4th. in that number 41 as Caston continues to go on defense on Mayu. Matt Cherry rounding out the top 5 right now all by himself. No pressure out the back from Casey Clark Jr. So the action up front right now is here comes Mayu with a big run on the inside of Caston going through 3 and 4. Wesley, this is the best move anyone's had on Caston so far. Caston able to hold him off there, but Mayu's going to have the preferred line into turn 1.
Down to the inside. Down to the inside, Caston up the racetrack. Here comes Mayu trying to make something happen on the bottom. Here he goes. Lead change. Will he clear him? He'll clear him up the racetrack. Here comes Mayu, officially your new leader. Second lead change of the race. Well, actually, second different leader. First lead change of the race, if you will. Caston led the first 54 circuits. 53 circuits, that is. And now we work on lap 54. It is Josh Mayu out in front.
54, make it 55 in the books. Caston led the first 53 laps before Josh Mayu was able to charge up and take the lead away. And Wesley Mayu is another one who's had a lot of speed in this 02 car. Just hasn't sealed the deal just yet, but has had a lot of chances to do so. Here he is leading the way at Richmond, trying to gather up as many laps and click him away as he can. Now, still a long way to go here. 280 laps at Richmond. They're going to be clicking away, though, as long as we can stay clean and green here. Front Apple beginning to pull back away from Lovett now. He's opened it up about 0.3 of a second over the number 41, the current points leader. Checking in with Wirtz in the 82. He's up to 7th. The other driver who was locked into the playoffs last time out at Pocono, where he finished 2nd to the number 41 of Lovett. Wirtz up 10 spots after starting 17th. Another driver up 10 spots is Alec Coates, Wesley, number 10, started 20th. Another driver who didn't qualify. He's now cracked the top 10 in the 10th position.
We watch these drivers work their way off the corner. Out of turn number 4. Wow, a little slow out. Watch them again. Front Apple went up the racetrack. That allowed these guys to kind of battle there. Like somebody kind of lagging there for just a little bit, then they gather it back in.
I believe that was Woolley in the 13th.
Yeah, it's Woolley's start. Yeah, this is outside the top 10. This is for 11th and 12th. Woolley, Fluman, Gilchrist all in this mix.
Ben Carver has made it back out.
Yes, sir. Yep. Several laps down, though. 4 laps down. Last car, actually, he's the only car a lap down. If we do get a caution, he will get a free pass, if you will.
He needs 4 of them to get back on the lead lap, though. Again, 23 drivers took the green flag, just 1 in the field out of the race thus far, that being Art Moline in the number 15. Josh Mayu took the lead on lap number 54, has not looked back since, but lap traffic beginning to fill the windshield of him. It's the number 92 of Eddie Jurgen going to be the next car to go 1 lap down here. If Mayu can get to him, he's about 5 car lengths away.
What is your take here now? We're coming up on over 60 laps in. Right now, everybody is pretty much, for the most part, staying nice. There's no hard racing. We're not seeing any crazy driving right now. When do you push it and go, Greg? You know this is the last race of the regular season. I would have think that you would have been seeing some craziness out here tonight so far. Just not the case for the Ezra Pro Series in the early going.
Well, if you're one of those playoff drivers on the outside looking in, you're trying to get yourself in, you want to be up near the front. But at the same time, 280 laps is a long way, Wesley. So that can go you can go a little bit without having to push it too far and then go for it perhaps in the second half. But the way this race is going, these drivers that were on the outside looking in, they might want to think about making a run up towards the front now just so they can try to get the track position. Looks like we are set to have some long green flag runs in this race. Track position is going to be very important here in this one. And as we say it, we have our second caution of the day.
Hey, I was wondering when we'd see that yellow flag rear its ugly head.
I Take a look at
Second
the
caution. Here's your swag
replay.
replay. We'll find out what happened, Greg.
May involve Woolley and Gilchrist. Fluman right there in front of him. Jake Klinger behind him. Believe it's going to be the teal number 26 of Gilchrist, as he was the one we were focused on. After, Fluman just kind of came down there. Not sure if he caught the wall or not. Brings out a caution. Gilchrist was able to keep it going, but I think that was just enough to get the race director's attention to bring out a caution. Let's see if we can take another look at it, perhaps from our aerial coverage brought to you by All American Pools, if we can get that and see what happened here, Wesley. Watch the 22. See if he catches the wall.
And remember, Greg, these drivers were bottling outside the top 10. Oh, yeah. Well, look at that.
Did not catch the wall. Just broke loose off turn 4.
Yeah. Just simply lost it. Went around. No damage. Cars are on the pit lane, though. Pit stop's underway. Coming up on lap number 70. Still over 200 laps left to go in the steel. 212 to be exact. And look at front apple. 4 tires and fuel down and away. The rest of the cavalry off the pit lane. Mayu looks strong, but it looks like they couldn't hold off Hank Aston in 36. As that machine will enter in the number 1 spot off the pit lane. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, coverage continues. The final regular season race of Ezra, the Pro Series, Monday night, LSR TV and CRN Sports from Richmond.
Hey, it's Wesley Outland of CRN Sports, one of the co-founders. I'm also one of the announcers on Live Sim Racing, LSR TV. We've recently partnered with LiveSimRacing.com to become the official radio partner of all of the esports events. What is CRN? Well, first off, we're going to be covering esports like it's never been done before with our MRN, PRN type radio atmosphere like you experience with NASCAR. In addition to that, we will cover the Northwest Trucking Cup Series, the Northwest Tour, and of course special events and sanctions like swag and special events like 6 Hours at Daytona and so much more. It's very simple to check out the racing action, whether on LSR TV, on Facebook and YouTube, or by listening. And that's how I want to help you real quickly. Go up simply to the website, wearecrn.com, wearecrn.com, click play, and you are set. It's that simple. We're excited to be the voice of live sim racing. We are CRN. Follow us at crn.com.
Getting ready for the restart after the second caution. Welcome back to our coverage on LSR TV, CRN Sports, and iRacing Live. Greg Rentz, Wesley Outland, Charles Wooten in the production chair, and Joshua Johnson chiming in. He says, "What's up, LSR? Can't wait to be on the broadcast next week at Vegas. Moving up from Thunder. New drivers from Thunder running. Next week, we're in the Toyota restart zone, ready for the restart for the second time at Richmond."
Back underway here at Richmond, and Hank Caston back to the lead after a gamble on pit road gets him out front in the number 36. 3 wide behind him. That's not going to work out. Cherry has to check up, and some interesting moment there in the field. This Cherry has to back there. He's going to lose a bit of ground. Caston back to the lead in the number 36. Back underway here at Richmond.
But can you say a good piece of driving by those guys? Wow, that could have been bad. 3 wide. Here comes Lovett, trying to get by Mayu. This is for third. He'll clear him. Clark up the hill. Cherry to follow. Down to the inside. Evasius is there. Closing in on 200 remaining. Still a long way to go. 3 wide again. Contact. Clark up the racetrack. Here comes Wirtz. He'll clear him. Cherry to the bottom. The Talladega winner. Trying to make something happen. This is for 5th. Into 3.
Saw Cherry had a nice run going in the early stages, but has since fallen off into number 48. Meanwhile, up front, Brandon Fronapple now putting the pressure on Hank Casson, the 36. Fronapple wants the spot and lead the race. He's to the inside looking for him.
On the inside, casting up the hill. Here comes Fronapple to the lead. He says, "This is my house." Virtually, that is. The man from the Commonwealth of Virginia, Brandon Fronapple. The number 5 for Incognito Racing, the 25-year-old out of Warsaw, Virginia, and the 46 branding Neonism's entry. 9th season on the Pro Tour. Neonism. There you go. I didn't want to butcher the sponsor, but I kind of got lost there for a second, Greg.
Yeah, it can happen. Sometimes that will happen here in the world of broadcasting here, Wesley. Brandon Fronapple back to the lead, and it's been a few weeks since we've seen Fronapple, so good to see him back out there in the number 5, trying to get up and just put some pressure on and able to get the lead away from Hank Casson, who's led the most laps so far in that number 5. Or excuse me, the 36. The 5 is now leading the way in it. Fronapple trying to pull away and just get some distance between himself and Caston, the dominant car early on.
Coming up on 80 laps completed. Still 200 circuits remaining. 2 century grinds around the 3/4 mile Richmond. Brandon Fronapple from Warsaw, Virginia, from the Commonwealth state, leading the way. Caston in 2nd, Lovett 3rd, Cherry 4th, Wirtz in 5th, Clark, Evasius, Mayu, Coates, and another driver we haven't really talked much about, the number 17 of Klinger. Patiently right now, Greg Rentz in the top 10 in that number 17 machine as we still look at him trying to hold off Hedrick in the 9 off turn 4. Oh, did he about hit the wall?
Just about. Klinger been trying to patiently work his way up to the front in the number 17. Up 8 spots now from where he started. Alec Coates just in front of him is up 11 in that number 10, so trying to get up there. Josh Mayu, who was leading at the time of that caution, he has been shuffled back to the 8th position. Things not going his way in the 0-2 since this restart.
Right in on board with Mayu, the Harley-Davidson entry, number 02. Good run for him so far. First time we've seen him mired back inside the top 10 since the start of the race, Greg. He's normally been in the top 3.
Yeah, he got mired back on that restart and just hasn't been able to, after the problems on that restart. Matt Cherry and Wirtz getting together just a little bit there off of turn number 2, just in front of him. They're able to keep it pointed the right direction. Wirtz getting the worst of it there as Clark and Mayu able to get to the bottom of Wirtz. It's all going on back here around 5th. Cherry up to 4th now, bringing Clark with him. Wirtz the big loser in that one.
Saving it, holding it together. And the race rolls on. Single file, nose to tail. No one jumping out of line until Wirtz makes the move on Mayu, but he just can't seem to make it happen as they go back into the corner again.
Still under green here. Working our 3rd green flag run of the race. 2 cautions here thus far. We're just inside 200 laps to go. Brandon Fronapple leads. Caston 2nd, who's led the most laps thus far. Matt Lovett, the points leader. Matt Cherry, Talladega winner. Casey Clark Jr., 2nd in the All-Star race last weekend at North Wilkesboro in the number 39. Up in the top 5 once again. That's him right there in the kind of reddish orange 39 with the black on the front fenders. You're watching Brian Wirtz, who has been another very consistent driver. A couple wins this season, locked himself into the postseason already. Had a second place run at Pocono, just trying to hold on right now and get himself a little bit more momentum built to those playoffs.
Don't forget, coming up here later tonight, the playoffs continue for the Northwest iRacing Cup Series, round number 2 from the Glen, Watkins Glen. Could be an exciting one. Justin Prince, Greg Rance will be in the booth. I'll be down on the pit lane. And we will see who will prevail for that one. Coming up tonight, 11:15 Eastern on LSR TV, CRN Sports. Coverage of live sim racing with the Northwest iRacing Cup Series in the West Bay Napa Auto Parts Playoffs. And Greg, what a fun time last night with the Northwest Tour, the iRacing Northwest Tour, presented by Joe's Racing Products. Big numbers, big viewers, big car counts. What a show last night we had to open up the season number 4.
I told you, Wesley, I've been telling you for the last couple months, just you wait till the Northwest Tour hits LSR TV. You are in for a treat. Was I right or was I right? That was an incredible race. Next week, their turn to hit North Wilkesboro Sunday night at 7 p.m. Pacific on LSR TV. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to be notified when we go live for that one. You are not going to want to miss race number 2 to see if Gary Smith can dominate the series again, or if we will have our second winner of the season.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. It literally blew me away that there was so many people that were in the chat box, like Aunt Kathy and more, ready to go for the race. And we had not even went live. And we were actually delayed in starting. Over 40 people ready to go before they even hit the live button last night.
Just shows you just how dedicated the Northwest Tour is to putting on a great show. These guys are putting on a great show as well here tonight at Richmond. For the most part, been a very clean race thus far, Wesley. Only a couple of minor spins here tonight. That's about here thus far this evening. Working lap number 92, Brandon Fronapple took the lead about 20 laps ago, has held the lead since, but the teammates Hank Caston and Matt Lovett are beginning to close back in.
And for the most part, we see Cherry hanging back in the top 5. He's in 4th. Mayu and Clark have continued this onslaught of battling side by side over what? Almost 8 laps now, close to almost 10. And it still continues. Clark not backing away from Mayu, letting him pull away. He literally clears him on the inside, and then Clark will find a way to get right back around him and return the favor, but maybe not this time, as Mayu will clear him and gain ground also on Cherry for that spot for 3rd, or 4th actually.
Saw in the previous run, Wesley, that Josh Mayu had the best car on the long run as he was able to get up there and get around Hank Caston. Here he goes after Cherry for 4th in the 02 car. We're seeing it once again. That long run speed is in the 02 tonight. We'll see if he can get around Cherry and take over the spot. He will move the 02 of Mayu back up into the 4th position. Now we'll see if he can track down the teammates of Lovin and Caston and eventually your leader Brandon Fronapple. By the way, Caston is beginning to apply the pressure on the back of the number 5 of Fronapple for the race lead going on in front of this right now as you watch Cherry try to reel back in on Mayu. Caston has narrowed it down to under a 0.2 of a second, so he is closed in on Fronapple. There you see the battle for the race lead right now.
For the lead, Fronapple out in front, Caston in 2nd. Pretty much the class of the field. If you also want to count the time that Mayu was able to lead a couple of laps. The 3 different leaders so far. Fronapple had a great pit stop a few moments ago. Took advantage of that, got around Caston. Caston actually got off on the pit lane first. But now we see as we approach lap 100, Fronapple Settling in. Only 2 cautions in 100 laps. I would say, Greg, that's very impressive as we get ready to put triple digits on the board next time by.
Especially at Richmond, Wesley. That could be a very difficult track that we're at right now to get a long green flag run in if the drivers do not show patience in that number or in these cars. And they have done a fantastic job of that, especially the fact that this is a playoff cutoff race. Working lap number 100 now with Brandon Fronapple out front, has led about 25 laps or so. Here it'll be 100 in the books at the line. 21 cars on the lead lap, 2 cars out of the race. Art Moline is loaded up and gone home. Ben Carver back in the pits, has not yet withdrawn from the race, but is 41 laps down. 100 in the books, 180 to go.
40 to halfway. Fronapple, Caston, Mayu, Cherry, Lovett, your top 5. We're going to go show you your sawblade.com top 5, and we're going to go quickly side by side. You don't miss a
Hold on,
thing.
we got battle for the lead. Battle for the lead, Wesley.
All right, well, we'll hold off on that. Look at this. Fronapple, Caston trying to battle back on the inside. Fronapple slipped. Caston goes to the bottom. He'll clear him. A car length put up to the lead again. Caston in 36. That little slip there by Fronapple off 2, Greg. It hurt the 5, and he got to wonder if he might have a handling issue now on the number 5 machine. But as I say that, he'll start to reel back in the 36 again off 2.
And Mayu is closing in as well. I'm wondering if the 41 of Lovett may have a handling issue. When we last saw he was in 3rd, he has fallen back to 4th as both Mayu and that man, Matt Cherry, have gotten around Lovett. Michael Woolley on pit road in the number 13. He comes to a stop in his pit stall. I have to see if this is scheduled or unscheduled. Right side's going up on the 13.
Unscheduled pit stop might be possibly scheduled. Woolley in 13 on the pit lane. Well, let's see here. It was about, 55 laps since the last time we had a pit stop? Around lap 48 was when the last caution fell? Well, I guess 65. It was around lap 60, actually. 65,
lap
yeah.
65 was when the caution came out. Everyone pitted on that one, so about 40 laps. That's still kind of short for a short track there. You would expect probably 70 to 80 laps, I would say, on a set of tires here at Richmond, maybe more even, as they get going once again. And here comes Fronapple back after Caston into number 36, but Mayu is there as well. The car behind him, that is Woolley, who's a lap down. Ooh, Fronapple slid up the track. Hello, Michael Woolley in the 13. He's 2 laps down right now, but the freshest tires on the track.
And now things kind of settle down there. Fronapple up the hill. Here comes all these cars fighting for position now to the inside of Fronapple. As we're watching now. Oh my goodness, man. We got one in the wall. Down to the inside.
Who was that? I believe that was Woolley.
Well, Woolley, yeah. It's Woolley, the 13. 2 laps down now for the 13. Oh, we got one spinning off 4. I think it's Wirtz.
Wirtz had an amazing save. He was sideways. That thing was flat dirt tracking. We got to take a look at the swag replay of that one.
Watch this.
On the 82. It was he was battling here with Coates.
Yeah, look at this.
Let's take a look at that. What happened here?
Wirtz up the racetrack. Look at here. Up in the marbles. Whoa.
What a save. What a save by Wirtz.
As Inspector Gadget says, wowzers. What a save for him. And as Greg Rentz reiterated on dirt tracking there off of turn 4. And speaking of dirt tracking, segue. Tomorrow night, round 4 from the dirt track at Charlotte. The Swag Studio Display Super Late Model Dirt Series on LSR TV and CRN Sports. We go live at 9:30 Eastern Time. Off of turn 4, there is Kent Caston. Over 100 laps in. Let's give you that Saw Blade top 5. We'll go side by side. You don't miss a thing. Hope you enjoyed some of the action that was brewing here at Richmond. We're 30 to halfway. More to come in a bit.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom T-shirts, racing. We'll do any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized. I mean, we do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything. Hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold, to where you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customer and stuff. So you can just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing, and if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink colors. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, T-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftees@yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftees.com.
Back here at Richmond. Oh yeah, we rocking and rolling. First race of our doubleheader coverage of Cup action on Monday. Tonight, it's the Ezra Elite Sim Racing Association, formerly known as the No Limit Pro Series, and now known as Ezra Pro Series. Richmond, race 10 of the regular season. It's on to the playoffs next week at Vegas. And Hank Caston, the Charlotte winner, looking for race win number 2. And I believe, Greg, with that win and with the points that he will tally in here, if he wins this race, that should lock him in to the postseason next week.
I believe it would, Wesley. I believe it would for sure. But for the first time tonight, he's got some heavy lap traffic in front of him. So he's going to be under pressure also from Josh Mayu, who wants to lead back in the 0-2, as Ed Jurgen going to move out of the way, let them go. Here, clicking laps away, only 2 cautions so far here tonight. We're working lap number 120, about 20 laps from halfway here this time by, as Mayu trying to reel in Caston, but Caston beginning to pull away. No, Caston's coming to pit road. Here comes your leader, pit road, Wesley.
Caston on the pit lane. Green flag pit stops, and here comes Wirtz onto the pit lane. Cherry's on the pit lane. Green flag pit stops, just about 20 laps to halfway.
First round of green flag pit stops tonight too, Wesley.
All these cars onto the pit lane. Here they come. Front Apple on pit lane. Evasius is on pit lane. Lottison on pit lane. All ready for green flag pit stops. Jack down, Front Apple away, but it's Caston out first. He will cycle back down into the top 15, 1 lap down. Other drivers on the pit lane. Clark is on pit road. Hedrick on pit road. Keys, Jorgensen, all on pit road, and now it looks like, Greg, the top 5 between Mayu, Lovett, Edwards, Klinger, Fluman have not pitted, but they will soon.
They'll have to pit soon. Oh, we got problems. 1 car around. One car goes around, did not see who it was.
Maybe not.
Up in turn number 4.
Will we see a caution? No caution yet.
No caution yet. Someone was sliding. It was a teal and silver car. Did not
Was
see
it Woolley
who
again?
It was.
Could it have been Woolley again?
No, it wasn't Woolley. It was not Woolley. I almost want to say it was Fronapple or Gilchrist, one or the other. Almost want to say it was Fronapple, but
26, was it him?
looking back to see perhaps what happened. Yeah, someone was sliding. Didn't see who it was. Looks like we're not going to be able to catch it here. But someone went for a slide in turn number 4, which I thought for sure was going to bring out a caution, but was able to save it.
More cars on the pit lane, the 14 and the 92. 14 of Elrod, 92. Here comes Fluman on pit road. 22, Fluman. 14 of Elrod, 92, Jurgen, who brought out the first caution. And there's the man out in front, Josh Mayu. Here's your total of pit stops now so far on the sidebar. Mayu has not pitted yet. Lovett has not pitted. They got 1 pit stop each. 3 pit stops now for Edwards in 55. 1 pit stop for Klinger, 2 for Cherry, 2 for Kasten. On the way down the list, all the way down till you get to Jurgen, who has pitted 3 times. And that is the rundown of the pits. But here comes your leader now, Josh Mayu. He'll come to the pit lane. This will cycle back around and give the lead to Bristol, Tennessee's Matt Lovett, the points leader in 41. There he goes across the stripe. He will lead. He will be the only car besides Edwards in 55, Greg, that has not pitted as we approach halfway.
So the question is, if you're Matt Lovett, you already are locked into the playoffs. You lead the series in wins. Well, question answered before I didn't even get to ask it, Wesley. He's coming down pit road this time. I was going to say, hey, you're in the playoffs, you're locked in, you've got the number 1 seed locked up. Why not gamble and just see how long you can go before you absolutely have to? It looks like he just decided to call it in here, as that will only leave Edwards as the driver that needs to pit.
And there is Lovett.
And Brett Edwards also on pit road.
And both of those cars on the pit lane. You're exactly right, Greg. Good observation, and that will cycle back around to Matt Cherry going to the lead.
Cherry with the lead. He's got about a second on Hank Kasten. The cars took the pit at the same time, so Cherry was able to get off pit road faster than Kasten. Quick pit stop on the number 48, so he's going to inherit the lead. The Talladega winner, driving the Jimmy Johnson tribute. Kasten in second, Fronapple third, then Alec Coates and Josh Mayu, who I believe, Wesley, safe to say that Josh Mayu in the 02 is the fastest car on the long run here tonight. But Matt Cherry's had some pretty good speed as well in the number 48 car. Hasn't gotten a real chance to flex his muscle yet. Now that he's out front, got an opportunity with a little bit of lap traffic between himself and Hank Kasten, who's feeling the heat behind him from Brandon Fronapple.
10 laps to go. Now make it 9 laps to go to halfway. There's Fronapple right now in third, trying to close in on Kasten for the bridesmaid spot. And about a second back or more is Matt Cherry in the 48 machine. We're approaching halfway. The Ezra Pro Series at Richmond on your home for sim racing, LSR TV, and those that are listening on CRN Sports. Hey, by the way, we had some killer numbers last night. In addition, for the iRacing Northwest Tour presented by Joe's Racing Products LSR TV broadcast. We also had some good numbers, 40 listeners, or 40 so far downloads or re-listens for the CRN broadcast last night. Good number. We appreciated that. We're doing it again tonight. Coming up, the playoffs from the Northwest iRacing Cup Series. So stick around. By the way, if you are new to LSR TV on the YouTube feed, give us a like, follow at LSR TV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And, of course, on YouTube, subscribe. Get a little bell there to let you know when there's notifications of when we're live and doing broadcasts. We cover everything from dirt to pavement. The endurance race coming up December the 19th. It is the second race of the American iRacing League, 6 hours from Talladega. That'll be a good one. That'll be right back here on LSR TV. As a matter of fact, Greg, I don't know if you heard the news, but it sounds like we talked with Jeffrey Wallace last Friday night. They're planning on a series, if you will, like a 6-race series of endurance races, 6 hours or more.
For stock cars, you don't see that very often. You hear endurance race, you think, oh, the road course, like the 24 hours of Daytona, 12 hours of Sebring, 25 hours of Le Mans. No, we're taking these Cup cars out for 6 hours at plate tracks, big tracks. The first one was at Daytona. It went what? Or was it Daytona or Talladega? I can't remember.
We did Daytona a couple of weeks ago, and it was, oh my goodness, how many laps did they run? They ran 427 laps, which is the equivalent of almost 1,000 miles.
That is wild.
Actually, over 1,000 miles, if you want to be honest, because the Daytona 500 is 500 miles, 200 laps. 427 laps is 1,030 miles, I think it is?
1,000, you're making me do math. I hate doing math. 1,000 something.
Yeah, 1,000 something.
I think 1,100 actually, right around 1,100. Somewhere in that bracket, but
was really cool.
That's just an insane. That's an insane thing, Wesley, but that's not all that's coming from the American iRacing League on LSR TV. Remember we did the on the rail paints fall brawl for the fall months. We had super late models and legends. That's kind of sort of returning because the American iRacing League is taking their own crack at super late models and legends. That's coming up starting this Friday on LSR TV in that same time slot. That's going to be fun. We got legend cars and super late models every Friday night coming your way here on LSR TV.
All on the way. A lot of cool stuff.
Halfway, Wesley.
Halfway home. Caston, the man that was on the pole, now into second. Trying to hold off the likes of Front Apple, Mayu. They've all pitted. Green flag pit stops. And we are coming to the cross sticks last time around. We are halfway home here at Richmond.
And they're all chasing Matt Cherry, who's opened it up, Wesley. It's up to a second and a half now over the field. So Matt Cherry, the number 48, the Noah Sweet paint scheme on the Ally number 48 here tonight. Noah Sweet got to paint that car for Jimmy Johnson, the race at Texas. And here it is leading the way at Richmond with Matt Cherry behind the wheel.
Coming up. Just after halfway, ready for the second half, tallying up the points, deciding who's going to the playoffs in this final regular season race. We're going to extend, kick some asphalt for you here at Richmond, the Ezra Pro Series. Here they come out of 4. And Greg, a battle for the lead. Heating up. Mayu has ran down Talladega winner Matt Cherry in 48.
We talked about it, Wesley. Josh Mayu has the fastest car here on the long run, proving it yet again here at Richmond. He has been the fastest car on the long run. Behind him, Evan Keese washes up the track in the Bass Pro Shops Camaro. Ooh, Cherry had a bit of a slide there off of turn number 4. That is going to be what Mayu wants to see, is he's going to be able to get a run on Cherry, but Cherry able to shut door. Going to be coming to start lap 150 of 280 here this time by Cherry under heavy pressure from Josh Mayu.
Cherry out in front, stuck with lap cars. Mayu trying to capitalize as a pick on the inside. Move him to second. Front Apple back to third. Mayu, the new leader. Cherry, he got around him. And now lap cars to boot, beginning with Fluman. This is for 15th.
That's going on in front of your new race leader, Josh Mayu, able to clear Cherry into number 02, move him back to the lead. There is Josh Klinger, the number 17. He's quietly worked his way up into the top 10 after starting 18th. Nice job for him to get back up there. Biggest mover of the race right now, Wesley, is Alec Coates in the number 10. He started 20th after taking the provisional, electing not to go out and qualify. He has fought his way in that number 10 car up into the top 5 here with 152 laps on the board. Just past halfway, and only 2 cautions thus far tonight.
What a show they have put on. 153 laps about to be completed. This time by of 280, just after halfway. Mayu, Cherry, Front Apple, Caston, Coates. Your sawblade.com top 5. As we go side by side, the race continues on. The final race of the regular season. And Mayu now looking to hopefully get the big win through lap traffic. More from Richmond when we return. Sawblade top 5 not changed at all with Mayu, Cherry, Front Apple, Caston, Coates the top 5. Coates, how about that name, Greg? Number 10 right now in 5th. Probably his best run of the season so far.
After starting in the 20th position, after not going out to qualify, here he is up in the top 5, having a nice run, but he's about 6 seconds back of the guys in front of him, Caston, Front Apple, and Cherry. By the way, that's a battle that's heating up for 3rd right now between Front Apple and Caston, and Matt Cherry's right there as well. Josh Mayu, he has already put 3.6 seconds over Matt Cherry into number 48. We've talked about it a couple times that Josh Mayu was the fastest car in the long run. He is just proving it right now.
And there he is in that 0-2. What a run he's got. By the way, as we mentioned other drivers that are having decent runs for them, we mentioned a moment ago the driver of Coates. How about Clark in the 39? Look at him. Normally, calamity, caught up in wrecks, not his fault. Handling problems. He sits comfortably in 6th right now.
Nice run for Casey Clark Jr. We gave him the nickname Scooby-Doo after the great race at the All-Star race last week at North Wilkes in the ARCA cars. But he's under pressure, Wesley, from Matt Lovett in the number 41, the points leader, who's having a quiet night. He led a few laps in the 41, but back in 7th behind Casey Clark Jr. right now. Taking a peek to the bottom, though, the red car up in front of them, that's Coates. That'll also be for position as Lovett now going to work on Clark Jr. to try to get to the inside.
Well, well, well. Here comes Lovett. This is for 6th. Put the 41 back to that spot. Lovett. Clark will fall back 7th. Still a good run for him. Avasi is right behind him. And I gotta say, Greg, probably in the next, 20 laps or so, they're going to come back down the pit lane again.
Yeah, they have to start thinking about it, and I don't believe this would be the money stop just yet because we would still have just under 100 laps to go. I think you're going to see him on pit road 2 more times if we go green the rest of the way. Josh Mayu, he doesn't want to pit, he knows he has to, but the way that 02 car is hooked up on the long run, you know he don't want to.
Another good run going for the 9. He's 1 lap down. If he gets a caution, he will go back on the lead lap. He has the free pass car. But right now, he currently is in 13th. He's on the baker's dozen bubble, as they say, a lap down. Right behind the leader. What did you call him, Charles?
Next up for Mayu is going to be the 24 of Sean Laudison. New second place driver, Brandon Fronapple, has gotten around Matt Cherry in the number 48. I believe Hank Aston went with him in the number 36. So Cherry, who took a turn up front, he's going to fall back now to 4th position. Josh Mayu, he's closing in on Hank Aston's mark for most laps led, Wesley. I think it's going to be close here pretty quick. And if Mayu can keep it like this, the way he's rolling right now, he's going to be sitting very pretty for most laps led.
All right, watching them as they work their way around the racetrack into turn 1. There's the leader, Josh Mayu, the man out in front. If you're a fan of motorcycles, he's your guy. He's sponsored by Harley Davidson. My dad has a Harley Davidson motorcycle. 2nd season of the Pro Tour. 40 years old. Part of the Haters Make You Famous racing team out of Lyons, New York, from the Empire State. Josh Mayu currently is 7th. He has no wins. He is 7th, Greg. So I believe with this win, if he wins tonight, he could punch himself into the playoffs. He was
on the cusp of getting himself locked in at Pocono last week. Had a good run, but came up just a little bit short. But the way this run is going for him, you would have to think, Wesley, that he would be sitting very pretty for a playoff spot. As Alec Coates letting Matt Lovett by now. Matt Lovett working his way back into the top 5 now. So Lovett starting to come alive here late in this one as he gets around Coates for 5th. Still no sign of anyone on pit road, but Mayu is up to 6.7 seconds over new second place driver Hank Caston, the leader early, getting back up around Fronapple.
What a run for that driver. As Mayu still leading the way. There is Lovett. There's the man of the number 1 seed, number 41. And here he comes, dropping down to the apron. He's on pit road. Lovett is on pit lane. Caston is on pit lane. Here comes also Lovett. Clark is on the pit lane. I had a feeling, Greg. I called it. I said I got a feeling within the next 10 laps or so they're going to pit. And here they come a little bit earlier than I predicted.
Yeah, some of these drivers just thinking, what do I got to do to get up there with Josh Mayu in the 0-2? Love it. You're watching the points leader come down. There's your pole sitter, Hank Caston, his teammate just in front of him, taking on 4 tires and a splash of fuel to get back out there. There's Sean Lottison, the 24, coming into his pit stall. Back underway here, Caston and Mayu able to get rolling again. Now we keep our eyes on the leader of Josh Mayu. When does he come down, Wesley? No signs of it. Remember, he stayed out a little bit longer than the rest of the field the time before, and with the way that 0-2 is cooking right now, he doesn't want to come in, but he's at a disadvantage now.
Off of turn number 4, another lap in. It will be lap 175 completed. There's the driver, Matt Lovett. He's a lap down on the pit lane, just exited. He's in 8th. Understanding this pit stop, Greg, was under 9 seconds. He either took no tires or 2 tires on that last stop in 41.
I believe he took 2, Wesley. I saw the right side get lifted up on the 41. I believe he took 2 tires. Only 2 drivers on the lead lap now. Is the only drivers who have yet to come down pit road are race leader Josh Mayu and Brian Wirtz, who, by the way, is right in front of Mayu. That is your leader in the 0-2. The 82 is in second. Wirtz is, whoa, one car, Prawn Apple.
Problems.
Prawn Apple has a stop up there.
Yet.
No caution.
Wow. Still
no caution. Prawn Apple able to get going again. How big would that have been, Wesley, if a caution had come out there?
Now, my question is that going to hurt him?
Oh, that's going to hurt Prawn Apple for sure, as he was stopped up there for quite a bit of time. Just got loose. It just broke loose on him. He took a turn out front. Didn't hit anything. That's the good news. But the bad news is he's going to have to come back down pit road once again and get another set of tires. Remember, these drivers have 6 sets of tires with them here tonight. 5 sets of tires on pit road plus the 4 Goodyear Eagles that started the race with. Definitely did not want to take a set of tires like that, but he did. Josh Mayu has just lapped the field.
Did he pit? That was the question.
I think he had already pit, yes.
And by the way,
drivers.
Yeah, you just said it, Greg. Go ahead. I'm not going to steal your thunder. Tell everybody what's going on.
Josh Mayu has just lapped the field, Wesley. He just put second place Brian Wirtz a lap down. Granted, he still has yet to come down pit road in the 0-2 where most of the field has. As you see right now, some of the cars that have come down pit road, Keese and Coates able to get around the 0-2. But for the time being, look at that ticker. Josh Mayu has just lapped the field for the time being.
And by the way, Wirtz, Gilchrist, Caston, Cherry, Lovett, Coates, 1 lap down. 8th on back, 2 laps down or more. That's what domination we are seeing out of Josh Mayu so far tonight. Only 2 caution flags stopping this race. And as we approach lap 200, the final 100 laps underway, Josh Mayu, 7th in the points. The man out of New York, trying to lock himself into the postseason. And the dominance continues for him. Here comes now Clark. To the inside. Where are you? He'll clear him, put him back at least 1 lap down. And Greg, here's the thing. Mayu could pit, and he could still, even, okay, there's a couple of cars a lap down or more, depending on the distance he's got with everybody. They still got to circulate around the track a whole circuit to run him back down. He could come down to the pits when he pits, and if he plays his cards right, makes no mistakes or errors, he could still enter back on the racetrack as the leader.
If he plays it right, it could very well happen, Wesley. So I'm kind of curious to see if he does try that in the number 02 here shortly. Just out there, still clicking laps away. I think he might be trying to get himself into a range, Wesley, where he can go the rest of the race on just 1 stop, and I believe he has surpassed that. I believe the last time Mayu was on pit road was back around lap 65 when we were under caution, I think. I can't remember. So he might be trying to set himself up to make it the rest of the way on just 1 more stop.
Possibly. And what a show he has put on for sure. Just sheer dominance by this man tonight. I mean, I'm just so impressed by what he has done. And if he pits, he still has the opportunity to be out in front as the leader. That's just, as we watch Woolley now, I think he's outside the top 15, 2 laps down. Could this be the winner here tonight at Richmond, Greg? That's the question. Are we looking at the Dominator in the 0-2?
We are definitely looking at the Dominator here, Wesley, but I don't know. It's still a long ways to go before he can get, or we can sign the check with his name on it. He still has to make that pit stop, and Brian Wirtz still has yet to come down pit road either in the number 82, so he is in the second spot, losing ground as well. No sign of those. So the question is, Wesley, when do they hit? When do they come down pit road for that final pit stop? Because it's clear what intention is from here on.
Yeah, what's that old cliche? Ready to bring this one on home for supper. This race coming down to the wire. Here he comes. On to the pit lane now. Yes, sir.
Now the question is, can he get back out there in front of the leader or the rest of the field? I don't think he can. I think it's going to be too much time between them and the rest of the field. He'll still be in the
top 5, though, Greg.
Oh, he will be very, very much solid in the top 5. I believe the lead is going to cycle around the Wirtz for the time being, but Matt Cherry is going to be right there with him not too long. Cherry on fresh tires as well. And they still have not yet taken the lead as Mayhew's in his pit stall right now. They just now passed him for the race lead.
And here he comes, right there. That's what I was trying to tell you. Where does he fall back? He fell back to 6th. But I'll tell you this much, Ed, there's only been 2 esports races in my career, and I remember somebody lapping the entire field. One time it happened at a road course at Watkins Glen. Nicholas Sacco in the truck race. The other time, right here tonight, with what we saw with Josh Mayhew doing in the 0-2. And now he is only, wow, 8 seconds back in 6, but he's still got time. I really do. This race is far from over, I believe.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time for these guys. We could catch a caution, and this will put the entire race on his lid here. Matt Cherry has re-inherited the lead in that number 48 car. Brian Wirtz is still yet to come down pit road in that number 82. Hank Caston behind him in 3rd right now. Lovett 4th. Gilchrist able to have a nice recovery in 5th. But that's not going to last very long. As a matter of fact, Mayhew has already gotten back around him, so move Josh Mayhew back into 5th. The battle is for 6th right now between Gilchrist and Coates. Coates is going to come in and take that position, but Gilchrist is going to fight back on the outside.
Well, Cherry, now the man, at the top of the board. And what a race that was, Greg. What seems like 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago, almost 2 months. It doesn't feel like that, but it is.
Since we saw Matt Cherry in victory lane at Talladega. That was the first race we brought. Series back then known as the NLR Pro Series. Now, of course, the Ezra Pro Series. Hard to believe it was almost 2 months ago that we broadcast this series for the first time, and we fell in love with this series, Wesley. We have loved bringing you guys the Ezra Pro Series, and we look forward to hopefully being able to bring you guys season however many it is now. Lost track of how many seasons they've had, and who knows, maybe we can hopefully see if we can work out a deal for the Thunder Series as well moving into next year, because we had a blast last week at North Wilkesboro calling that all-star race with a mix of Thunder Series drivers and these Pro Series drivers. We had a blast last week at Wilkesboro. Catch the replay if you have not seen it. You can catch that replay on LSR TV deep in the archives, so make sure you check that out.
It certainly was a good one. I'll just say that much, man. It was fun. It was entertaining. I enjoyed it. I know you did. Deep in the heart of Texas, is our producer in the background is saying. Well, 200 in next time around.
Cherry, Caston, Mayu up to third, reeling in Hank Caston for second. This number 02 car is astonishingly quick right now.
And my question is this: where is Lovett? Where is Wirtz? They're all outside because they just got passed by Mayu. Mind you, he dominated, lapped the entire field, Greg, came down to the pit lane, ended up back in 6th. His car is so good. He has ran back down Cherry. Hasn't caught him yet. The interval's still 2.5 seconds, but he literally cleared Caston, Lovett, Wirtz, all these guys asleep at the wheel, and he is on a quest to run down Cherry.
That 02 car is so strong, Wesley. This is incredible what Josh Mayu has been able to do in this 02 car here tonight. 1.9 seconds back of Matt Cherry. I think if this thing stays green, we're looking at a guy with a shot at the victory in Josh Mayu. If he can get up to Matt Cherry in the 48, this could be the final call for these guys. If we stay green, of course, a caution can turn this entire race around, but it's been almost 200 laps since we saw a caution. The last caution came out on lap number 65, Wesley, so this has been so insane what Mayu's been able to do, and this has been so incredible watching these guys click away these laps like this. You and our producer Charles both said you were expecting a clean race. I was honestly not. I was expecting this race to be a little bit on the wild side. I've been very convincingly misproven here on my theory on this one. I thought for sure with this being the playoff cutoff race, this was going to be quite the active race. And here we go. We're going to have a battle for the lead between Cherry and Mayu coming up here right now.
Charles, do we know how to predict him, or do we know how to predict him? Into turn number 3 for the lead, Mayu has ran back down Cherry. A lap car to boot in front of him. Can he use him as a pit, Greg? That's the question. And by the way, don't want to do anything stupid. You still got 70-plus laps to go. 74 to go, as a matter of fact. Here, kitty, kitty. And a lap car to boot. Greg, I honestly think Mayu's just playing mind games with Cherry right there.
Yeah, right now I think he's just waiting for his moment, and here it is. Lap traffic ahead. He's going to try to pin him up on the outside. Almost there. Not quite clear just yet. He does lead the lap, and he's got him. Josh Mayu back to the lead here at Richmond on lap 2:09.
Watching them battle again. The man out in front, Josh Mayu, to the lead. There goes the 9. High hopes there for the 9 machine of Hedrick, trying to carry that momentum that Chase Elliott had at Martinsville yesterday in the 9 car. All right, 10 cars on the lead lap. 70 to go. This is what we'll do. We're going to take our final extended commercial break since we're in this long green flag run. When we come back, Greg and myself will take you to the finish of what the final race will be before the playoffs at Vegas next week with the Ezra Cup Series from Richmond Raceway on LSR TV and CRN Sports. Saw Blade Top 5. Back in a moment.
I want to show you what we can do. It's like a newborn puppy. Like, I want to show you how cute we are. Come see us. Come see what we can do. You'll be amazed. My name is Kim Connolly Wilder. I worked for Studio for almost 4 years. I project engineer, creative direction, graphic designer. Outside of Studio, I like to paint, knit, crochet. My favorite thing about working for Studio is the ability to be around like-minded people. And the work is cool. When I was first told about Studio, it was the wood shop, the metal shop, and how they can take nothing and build it. That's what I've been around my whole life, so to have the opportunity to actually work here is pretty amazing. When I came onto Studio, Tom was sort of this unicorn. So you'd hear his voice, or you'd catch a glimpse of him, you just naturally wanted to be around him. His big smile. I loved to go into his office and kind of poke at him, see what he was working on, have him talk to me about past projects. I wanted to learn what he knew. This is his legacy, everything. You feel him every day. When you sit down and you're starting a new project, it really is something in the back of your mind, like, would Tom like this? Would he think this is cool? You know, he was kind of a mentor to a lot of people, so you don't want to disappoint even though he's not around us anymore.
ETE Reman is the world's best remanufacturer of transmissions for import and domestic cars and trucks. Based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our customers are repair shops, auto parts stores, dealerships, and distributors. And with 6 nationwide warehouses, we're where and when you need us. So when you're looking for a transmission that is like new, only better, instill confidence and install ETE Reman.
Welcome back to Richmond, virtually. The sawblade.com top 5 up on there on the upper left of the monitor down. Mayu, Cherry, Coates, or Caston, Lovin and Coates top 5. Clark in 6, Fronapple 7, Klinger, Edwards, Hedrick, and Fluman. 6 cars on the lead lap as Fronapple just went a lap down. And with 60 laps to go, Greg, the New York native. Haters make you famous. Harley Davidson 0-2. Josh Mayu, 7th in the standings, looking for his first win on the season with the ESRA Pro Series and to punch his ticket in the postseason next week at Vegas.
What a performance by Josh Mayu in the 0-2 here in this one. Started 3rd, but has been far and away the fastest car in race trim here, Wesley. Once this green flag run began back around lap number 70, it has been all Josh Mayu. Other drivers have gotten turns out front. Hank Caston, Brandon Fronapple, Matt Cherry, Matt Lovett led a few laps among others, but the dominant car has been the 0-2 of Josh Mayu tonight.
What a performance. What a performance for Mayu. I literally was thinking Caston had a shot. Fronapple showed strength. Lovett showed signs of strength. And Lovett's on pit lane, I believe. Matt Lovett's on the pit lane, guys. The 41 on pit road. The points leader. The man from Bristol. He has already got 4 wins on the season. It doesn't matter. He knows he's going to the playoffs, whatever outcome happens tonight. 4 tires and fuel for the number 41. He's back out on the racetrack, Greg.
So Lovett getting the tires to go to the end. Remember, we believe Josh Mayu can go the distance here from the end of this one. More drivers on pit road now, including Matt Cherry from 2nd place. Matt Cherry coming in for his final stop. With how long Josh Mayu was able to go before he came down as opposed to the rest of the field, I think he can go the rest of the way. So right now, these guys are just trying anything in their power to get up there for the 2nd spot.
Mayu And here comes Cherry on pit lane. Fronapple on the pit lane. There goes Clark. 46 exiting. That was Keys. Green flag pit stops for about the third time. Cherry, pretty quick pit stop, either 2 tires or no tires, and just filled up the tank. Going on 45 laps on this current green flag run for Josh Mayu, leading in 0-2. 35 laps, correction.
Has been a fantastic performance out of these drivers. This is not to take away from these guys out there like Caston, who led a lot of laps, in Cherry as well in the number 48. It has been quite the performance from several of these drivers, but Mayu has just been in a class of his own. Once again now, Wesley, only 3 cars on the lead lap.
3 cars. 3 cars on the lead lap. We're under 50 laps to go. We're at 50 laps to go. 55 remaining, actually. And Mayu picking them up and putting them down. 2 cautions at Richmond. Are you kidding me, Greg? I never would have thought that.
That's quite the stat there, Wesley, because you mentioned it. You and Cody were talking in the pre-race that you guys were thinking this is going to be clean and green. I thought there was going to be some action in this one. I thought we were going to see quite a bit of stuff going on with this being the playoff cutoff and everything. I gotta say, I am shocked at how this race has turned out so far.
You're going to have fun writing the press release, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, yeah. Gonna have just enough time to get that rope before we head on the air for tonight's nightcap. This one, the 55-lap race at Watkins Glen, coming up here tonight.
And by the way, let's just go ahead and what'd you say? Oh, yeah, we want to thank Barnes Paving and Grading for sponsoring this event. 280 laps, 230 down, 50 laps to go now. And again, I just wanted to kind of run down the schedule of what we have coming up this week. Tonight, coming up next after Richmond, it will be at Watkins Glen for the next round of the West Bay Napa Auto Parts playoffs for the Northwest iRacing Cup Series. Justin Prince, Greg Rentz will be in the booth. I'll be on pit lane for that. We're going to fly quickly, virtually, from Richmond to Watkins Glen. Tomorrow night, it is the dirt track at Charlotte. While the boys of the World of Outlaws are there for the last call, we are going to have coverage of round 4 of the SWAG Studio Display Dirt Late Model Series. That'll begin at 9:30 Eastern Time tomorrow night. Nolan Rimple and myself on the call. Wednesday night, the S&B Cup Series will be in action. That will be Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. No, correction, 9 p.m. Eastern, actually, is the race for the S&B Cup Series. 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. Then on Thursday, Truck Thursday. Truck action for the SWAG PMI Truck Series. That will be at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. Then at 11:45, it is off to the next race in the playoffs for the trucks of the Northwest iRacing Truck Series. And that will be, again, part of the West Bay Napa Auto Parts playoffs. Then on Friday night, the debut of the American iRacing League Super Late Model Tour. I believe it's Legends and Supers. Am I correct, Greg?
Legends and Super Late Models. That is correct,
night.
Wesley.
Yes, sir. That's
just
right.
like the On the Rail Paints Fall Brawl we got to cover in its entirety here back fall. Exact same format, but a little bit of a different series.
And then that's on Friday night. Saturday, we are in the clear. Sunday, a little bit of a nighttime late show for Eastern people. But at 10 p.m. Eastern, well, actually it's around 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. Coverage of round 2 from North Wilkesboro. The iRacing Northwest Tour Super Late Models. It's presented by Joe's Racing Products. You do not want to miss that. It's worth staying up for that virtual experience. Last night in the opener at USA International, 63 cars attempted to make a 24-car field. And what a humdinger show it was at USA, Greg.
That was an awesome show. I have been so excited to bring this series to the great LSR TV viewers. And you guys saw why last night. If you weren't there live watching it, one of the 85, 86, however many we had people watching, check the replay out on LSR TV. Hang on a minute, Wesley, because here comes your leader, Josh Mayu, coming down pit road for his final stop. I was wrong. Guess he could not make it the rest of the way. He's coming down with 43 to go. And we got cars spinning in the grass.
Wow.
Brandon
Could we see
Frontapple, and the caution is out.
There it is. Frontapple, number 5, in the grass.
This is going to change everything.
The leader is going to pit.
No,
he is still going to pit. No, he
is
left
going
pit
to roll
road.
through. Only
And he'll
2
stay as
cars
the
on the
leader.
lead lap. Only 2 cars on the lead lap right now at time of this caution.
Wow. Look at this. Woolley bounces off. Front nose in the wall. Frontapple, 46, also in the grass. Caution. Under 50 to go.
Wow. Unbelievable.
42
So now-
remaining to be exact.
Okay. Now the question is, only 2 cars were left not having pitted. Josh Mayu and Matt Cherry. Looks like 7 cars are going to get back onto the lead lap as a result of Mayu being on pit road there when the caution came out. Mayu and Cherry already had pitted, actually, excuse me, in the number 48. He was one of those cars that came down. Mayu was the only car left that had not pitted. He was coming down pit road when that swag yellow flag came out. So he's going to pit here under caution for his final stop. He's going to cycle back through into the 7th spot. Now he's got to charge through the field here.
Coming down pit road was the leader, Josh Mayu. A caution broke out between contact with the 13 of Michael Woolley, the 5 of Brandon Frontapple, Keys in 46. Matt Cherry is on pit lane. He was in 2nd. He is on the pit lane in 48. And we await to see Josh Mayu come down to the pit lane again. He did not pit. He pitted, caution came out, he drove through pit lane, and he stayed as the leader. He has still not pitted, Greg.
Still yet
I would have thought
pit.
he would have came to the pits.
Yeah, you would think right now with everything going on, the fact he was on pit road there, I think he would have came down pit road in that number 02.
Wow. No, looks like he's coming down to the pit lane now.
Yep, here he comes.
Here comes the 02 onto the pit lane. Couple of guys in front of him as well and behind him. Well, man. This story just took a completely different turn, Greg Rentz. 40 to go. Business has picked up.
This entire race just got turned on its lid, Wesley, for lack of better phrase.
Kind of like last night at the All-American 400 when we saw Bakersfield, California's Derek Thorne completely dominate the 300-lap event in Nashville. Under 100 laps to go, Carson Hocevar turned him on a restart and took out the dominant car, giving the win to Casey Roderick. And now we see this story virtually brewing here with under 40 laps remaining. Cars on the pit lane, Mayu pitting, and I believe now Matt Cherry is going to cycle back around as the new leader. Mayu pitting, Greg. He's going to come back out in 2nd. He's going to pass all these cars.
He's going to come back out in 2nd position and be there. Now, here's the thing, Wesley. On the shorter run, Matt Cherry has been a little bit faster than Josh Mayu. It takes Mayu's car about 10 laps or so to get back up to speed. In those 10 laps, Cherry's been quicker than him. So if Cherry can get himself a big enough lead, can he have enough time to hold Josh Mayu off behind him?
Evasius on pit road in 12. 38 laps to go. .37 to go. And now, Matt Cherry. The card's fallen into place for him. he could possibly be the man to cash in and get an upset win.
Boy, how big would that be?
He's got one win. He won at Talladega. We talked about it earlier. Matt Cherry, the number 5 seed, 49 back to the leader, Lovett, coming into tonight's finale of the regular season. 1 pole, 1 win at Talladega. 3 top 5s and 8 top 10s for the driver of the number 48 machine for Incognito Racing, the 32-year-old out of Scottsville, Kentucky, the Lowe's Ally Bank entry, 9th year in the Pro Tour.
Leslie, we're back green, and the lap traffic did not come down pit road, so Josh Mayu, he's going to have his work cut out for him here as he's back in 3rd now. Brett Edwards in the 55 restarted this race in 2nd. I'm not so sure that was intended to go the way it did because a lot of traffic pinned back there. Matt Cherry has a huge advantage right now over Josh Mayu.
He does.
4.6 seconds back to 3rd place Josh Mayu, 1.9 back to the number 55 of Brett Edwards, who sits 2nd. Josh Mayu's incredible race is suddenly in serious trouble here.
But remember, we saw one time where he literally came down. He was 8 seconds back, and he ran back down the leader and got around him.
Yeah, but I don't know, with just over 30 to go, does he have enough time to reel him back in? That gap is growing between him and Matt Cherry. Cherry's got clean racetrack in front of him, and Mayu has a ton of lap traffic there. Not sure what happened on that restart, but it's 4.9, almost 5 seconds back to Mayu, who's in 3rd right now. The gap is growing between Edwards and Cherry. Matt Cherry up 2.2 seconds right now. This may put Mayu in a very difficult spot. Cherry is in a pretty position right now in that 48 car.
Hey, Greg, and how about Brett Edwards in the 55 machine from Concord, the Racing Electronics entry? Remember him? He literally had problems earlier in the race, was laps down. He's in 2nd. Cherry, Edwards, Mayu, Caston, Lovett, your top 5 coming up on 30 to go when they come around turn 4 to the start-finish line this time by here at Virtual Richmond.
And I'm still trying to figure out that restart there, Wesley. Not sure what happened on that restart as they were just setting it up. Doesn't look like anybody was waiting. I think these lap cars were all waiting for the wave around, but Cherry staying out, pinned them there, and yeah, Cherry suddenly is out front by 2.7 seconds, and that gap is growing.
And you gotta wonder, could we see a late race caution? 30 laps to go. 29 remaining now. There's Mayu trying to get around Lottison. Up the racetrack in front of Lottison is that car.
Mayu trying to close in. He was able to shave a couple tenths off of Matt Cherry, but he is running out of time.
That was Jurgen. I thought Jurgen was going to slip in front of Lottison earlier. He saved it in that 92 machine.
Mayu's car has come back to him, Wesley. He's shaving off 0.2 of a second. I don't think well, he might have enough time. It's going to be close. It is going to be very close to see if Mayu can get up there. In 3rd right now over Matt Cherry in the number 48. Back up to 5.1 seconds now. Cherry puts 2 more tenths on him. It's going to be so close if Mayu can get back up there.
The Barnes Paving and Trucking 280 is down to the home stretch. Coming up on 25 remaining. And a couple of more laps, 26 to go now. As Matt Cherry out in front, the Talladega winner, leading the way. Edwards in 2nd. Mayu, the dominator of this race, sitting now in 3rd, almost 5 seconds back. And licking his chops, grateful for the opportunity. Matt Cherry, the Kentucky native in the 48, pulling away from their competition of Edwards and Mayu, and the laps are winding down. Under 25 to go at the line this time by, Greg.
24 to go for Matt Cherry in the number 48. He's got 2.9 on Brett Edwards, but 4.6 to Josh Mayu. That gap is closing. At the rate he's closing right now, Wesley, he would get to Matt Cherry's bumper coming to the white flag. But he's got to get around all this lap traffic.
Well, he's got to run him down. You're exactly right. He has to get there. To get there, he's got to run him down, and he's got to move around lap cars to boot. And these cars are not going to move around nicely.
And especially that 55 of Brett Edwards, because that is for position in that number 55. That is the guy in second trying to steal a podium here from the rest of this one.
And by the way, Edwards is 3.5 seconds.
One car in the
to the leader,
grass.
Cherry.
Jurgen in the grass. Jurgen was in the grass. We stay green.
Jurgen, 92 in the grass, right on board with Mayu. No change for those spots. And as I was saying, Edwards is more further back to being ran down by Mayu for second than Edwards is to the leader. There's the gap. Get through those lap cars and you're in business. Klinger and Woolley.
First up is going to be Klinger. To the inside, he's going to try to clear Klinger off of 4. He's not quite clear, but Klinger's going to give him the spot. Next up will be Gilchrist.
Gilchrist, that's it.
In the 26.
Those cars look so alike. But that is Gilchrist, the 26. We've not talked much about him. He's in the top 10, but he is a lap down. And here comes Mayu clearing him. Now Mayu, and there's second, right there. Josh Mayu running down his nemesis right now, Edwards in the 55 car. Under 20 laps to go here at Richmond.
This is for second, and he is going to have to go all in this one or catch a caution late.
And Greg, I'll tell you something else I noticed as well, watching Mayu's car. He seems like after a green flag run and we go to caution and we get back going again, it takes around 10 laps or so for Mayu's car to come back to him.
Yeah, we've noticed that throughout the course of the race that it takes Mayu's car about 10 laps or so to get going, whereas Cherry's car is fast for the first 10 laps and then it seems to fall off.
That's right. And by the way, he's only 2.5 seconds back now. He was about 4.5. And you see him running down Edwards for second. Mayu makes his move down to the inside. Edwards throws the block on the bottom. Up the hill goes Edwards.
Trying to get second. And while this is going on, they are trying to reel in Cherry.
Clearing.
Maybe the second.
Now,
more lap traffic ahead.
Down? Can he run down Cherry? That's the question.
All right, let's see what it is. 2.6 seconds. He is going to need a little bit more than what he's getting right now out of that car. He's going to need to pick it up just a little bit more than he's got.
He'll clear Keys. 46 out of the way. 15 to go, 14 to go now. More lap cars in the midst of the man Mayu.
2/10 quicker right now than Matt Cherry. 2.4 back. He needs 12 laps to get it. He has 14. He has enough time if he can keep it at the pace he's going right now.
So basically, in layman's terms, with 3 laps to go, he will be right within the edge of the leader.
If he can continue at this pace, yes, but he's got to get past these 2 cars first.
Got to get them out of the way. That's Hedrick in the 9.
Wirtz in the 82 also.
He's the number 2 seed. Wirtz is.
Mayu has to get around the 2 of them here, and he has to do it quickly.
Well,
this is going to help Cherry just a little bit, having him pinned back there.
Mayu on the inside. He'll clear Wirtz. He's coming after Hedrick. Down to 3.
Caution. You might come out here. There it is. Caution.
Wow. He clears the lap cars with 11 to go. A visit by the yellow flag again for the 4th time here at Richmond. Shootout coming up.
It was Brett Edwards in the 55 who went around. 3rd place. Went around off of turn number 2.
Swag replay. Check it out. Oh, wow.
Gilchrist with a run. And
that's
yikes.
Gilchrist.
Yeah, yikes. So Mayu gets his wish. And here they come, Wesley. They're all coming down. No, they all fake out.
That's
they
right.
All fake out.
Oh, wow. Cherry didn't pit. Neither did Mayu.
Next up will be Caston. He is pitting, Wesley. And Edwards. So the top 2 staying out. The rest of the field behind them will have fresh tires.
36, Hank Caston, the fast qualifier, taking advantage of this pit stop. He's on the pit lane. Matt Lovett in 41 on pit lane. 4 tires, filling up the tank, ready for a shootout. Down and away. Understanding Matt Cherry has pitted over 5 times already, Greg Rance. He possibly might not have had any tires left to go and pit for.
He's got what he's got from here on now in that number 48. He's got what he's got, Wesley.
Josh Mayu on pit road. 0-2 on the pit lane.
I don't know about that, Wesley. He's going to lose a lot of track position now. There's going to be less than 10 laps to go. I don't think he's going to have enough time now.
Ryan Hedrick is on pit lane. Casey Knighton, Evan Keys, Matt Jorgensen, Jake Elrod, all on the pit lane. Under 10 remaining. 9 to go to be exact. And you can call this the money stop extra. Man, oh man.
We
have not reached overtime yet. No. And remember, if we do, we have 3 attempts at a green-white checker.
And Wesley, this is going to change everything because now you're going to have Matt Cherry on old tires. Hank Caston, the pole sitter, is up in 2nd. Going to be starting alongside the number 48 of Cherry for what could be the final restart of the race. Josh Mayu, far and away the fastest car in the field, back in 7th.
Our producer saying put your money on Hank Caston. Hey, but I'll tell you something else too, Greg. Matt Lovett pitted in 41. He's been strong, the number 1 seed when it counts the most down the stretch. He's 3rd.
The points leader. Here we go. Rack 'em, stack 'em.
And how about
see what happens?
And how about Alec Coates in 10? Greg Clark, Casey Clark Jr. in the 39. In the top 5. What great runs for these drivers as well.
Incredible runs by these drivers. What could be the final restart of the race. Wesley in that number 48, Matt Cherry, going to lead him to green.
Well, here we go.
The pole sitter, 2nd. Lovett, the points leader, in 3rd. Alec Coates did not qualify, started 20th, in 4th. Here we go. Is this the final restart? Pace cars in, green flag back in the air. Cherry leads him.
In the Toyota restart zone, back underway. Cherry gets the jump. Here comes Lovett on the inside. Move him to 2nd, 41.
Watch out for Mayu. Josh Mayu already trying to make moves.
Yes, sir. Mayu's coming back on the inside, trying to get around Coates. 5 to go.
5 laps to go. He's up to 5th. He's going to need to pick him off 1 at a time, 1 per lap from here. Cherry leads. Lovett 2nd. Caston back to 4th, going to the inside of Clark, who's up to 3rd.
For the lead.
Battle for the lead. Here comes Lovett.
Lovett on the outside.
Casey Clark
3 wide. Oh, my goodness. Clark to the bottom. Contact with Lovett. They bang fenders. Caution.
Caution.
Lovett's the leader. We got a caution. It's Alex Loudison spinning on the back straightaway. Overtime coming up.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
What happened here with Loudison? Wirtz bobbled.
Oh, Wirtz got into him. Oh yeah, and he lost it. Overtime. How about Clark? Clark threading the needle, going 3 wide, fighting for that top spot. Saw an opening on the bottom. And he is in second. And I'll be honest with you, Greg, his car is strong enough that he could probably hang with the 41.
He's strong, but here's my question, Wesley. Look who's in 5th. Josh Mayu. That was the best short run speed we've seen out of the 02 all race. The fastest car here is now going to have overtime and a shot to get it. We were 3 wide when that caution came out for the lead. If something had happened, Josh Mayu was sitting pretty right there.
Okay, so my question is this, Greg. We have 5 laps to go. Could we possibly, I mean, I know it's highly unlikely, but could we possibly see a restart before overtime is called?
No, we are going to reach overtime right here.
Okay, all right. Yeah, it is 3 to go. You're exactly right. My scoring just updated in front of me. You're exactly right. They're coming to 2 to go now. But this will be overtime.
First of 3 attempts at a green-white checkered. Lovett in the lead. Has led a couple of laps thus far. Could he possibly steal one?
Matt Lovett out in front. The #1 seed, the winner, trying to, be the #1 seed, be the winner of the final race of the season. The driver to Bristol, Tennessee. He's out in front, the 41. Casey Clark in second. A daring move 3 wide before the yellow flag came out. He's at #2 spot right now, up 12 spots where he started the race in 14th. Matt Cherry started this race in 4th. He's currently in 3rd. Hank Caston, the pole car, falling back now to 4th, 3 spots back. 2 spots back is the driver of Matt Cherry along with Hank Caston. Then you got Josh Mayu. He's in 5th. Alec Coates with a good run. Man, I really don't know who to. I mean, I would said 20 laps ago, Greg, this is Josh Mayu's race to win. That's not the case now.
No, not at all in this one. But he's not out of it just yet. He sits 5th right now. A big move on a restart, and all of a sudden, we have ourselves Mayu making a move up there. Lights are out on the pace car. Love it. Clark, your front row. Cherry, Caston, then Mayu and Coates. Who is going to steal the victory at this one? Can Mayu fight back and pull off the rally?
Here is the explaining of rules for overtime. There will be 3 attempts at a green-white checker. If there is a caution before the leader takes the white flag, we'll re-rack them and restack them twice more times. If the leader takes the white flag, the race is over by caution. They'll stop the field based on where they're at on the track, and that will decide the lineup. If we go to 3 attempts, whatever happens on the green flag, that will determine the rest of the rundown. Overtime shootout, #1, green, Lovett on the jump, Clark behind him, Cherry and Caston follow into turn 1, going around is Caston, the pole car. He gets a little hit.
And we go caution.
2 more cars involved, and caution's out. Overtime 2.
You know who did not get a good restart there was Josh Mayu in the 02.
Yeah.
He fell back to 6th. Hank Caston, the pole sitter.
Here's your replay presented by Swag. You saw what happened. What a tough break for the pole car. Number 36. There is Coates, and he was going to send it and not back off. And then Edwards collected him in the 55. Loudison bounced off of him. So did Keys in 46. And Greg, we have overtime number 2 coming up.
Oh my goodness. They waited till the last 20 laps to turn up the heat. That is for dang sure with how this race has played out.
We thought this race was going to be a snooze fest. We thought it was going to be comfortable. Now, Katie bar the door. I don't know what in the world's going to happen. Klinger getting the free pass wave around in the 17. Put him now 2 laps down. Wow, wow, wow. And just thinking, over an hour from now, we come back with the playoffs, round 2, my apologies, round 2 from Watkins Glen. We got to settle this one, Greg. This will determine who's going to the playoffs.
Going to the playoffs in this one.
Oh. Playoffs will begin next Monday night. That will be at Vegas. New drivers will be introduced in the fray from the Thunder Series, like Joshua Johnson. Tucker, who won the All-Star race last week, Kendall Tucker, he'll be in that mix as well. And Greg, we got to do this again. This is overtime shootout number 2.
This is going to be wild. Second of 3 attempts here at Richmond. Lovett, Clark, Cherry, Hedrick up to 4th. Can Ryan Hedrick steal one here and pick it up another short track win in Virginia for the Napa 9?
Off into the corner, still under caution. Whew. You know, I was going to promise no more commercials because we said, you know, that was going to be our final round of commercial breaks, but we're not going to commercial break here. We're going to stay right here with you. This race down to the wire. And another attempt at a green-white checker. Another opportunity for a shootout. Remember, as I reiterated again, if the leader takes the white flag, the race is official. If they wreck like we saw happen to Polcar Caston before he takes the white flag, then we'll go again. If we go a 3rd time in overtime, next flag ends the race on the restart, whether it is a caution or the checker. Double them up, Greg Rentz. Ready to fire the ammunition virtually and go it for the 2nd time here at Richmond in overtime for the Ezra Cup Series.
Love it. Gonna lead him to green. Casey Clark Jr. second. They're second in the All-Star race. Last Monday night trying to steal another one here tonight. Matt Cherry was in a good position, but on those old tires, he might be in trouble. Ryan Hedrick, could he possibly steal it here in the Napa 9? Pace car off. Let's try it again. 2nd of 3 here for the green-white checkered.
Whoa! Holy cow! Good restart for Lovett. 10 Coates failed. Cherry to 2nd. Open up the door now for Mayhew. And they're about to rock them and stack them in the corner. I got a feeling there's trouble brewing. To the back straightaway, they hold it together. Lovett out in front. They're in 3. They come to the line. They take the white flag. It's over. Here they come. Cherry with a big slide. White flag. There's contact. He spins.
Round goes Clark.
Clock around. Into the wall. They're wrecking.
They're wrecking, but we stay green. We stay green. Matt Lovett. Matt Lovett has a big lead. He's going to steal it. The points leader.
Matt Lovett is going to come out of nowhere and win this race. He steals one at Richmond. Matt Lovett will win the Barnes Paving and Trucking 280 here at Richmond. And Greg Rentz, that is win number 5 before he goes to the playoffs. He has won 5 out of the last 10 races before the postseason tonight.
Unbelievable by Matt Lovett. We'll have to wait for the Clan Wars post-race show to check the exact stats, but he did not lead very many laps today. This race went 10 laps past the scheduled distance, and Lovett steals it here at the end in overtime.
batting .500 out of 1,000. He's won 5 out of 10 races this season. And the man out of Bristol, Tennessee, Matt Lovett, for the National Alliance on Mental Illness Awareness, picks up the win. By the way, Greg, he has not won since he got that Bristol win in his hometown race back about a month ago.
Unbelievable by Matt Lovett to get the win and steal it here from Richmond. And he blows the motor doing the burnouts here tonight at Richmond, Wesley. Let's take a look at the unofficial results.
Presented by SawBlade.com. Matt Lovett, the winner. Josh Mayhew, give him an attaboy for effort. He tried to run back down Lovett, but ran out of time. He'll settle for second. Matt Cherry will finish third after having contact with Clark. Brett Edwards, fourth. Ryan Hedrick, fifth. Hank Caston, along with Casey Gilchrist, Alec Coates, Josh Klinger, Casey Clark Jr., even though crashing, he'll finish in the top 10.
Coming home in 11th is Steven Evasius in the number 12. Finished his first car 1 lap down. Brian Wirtz locked into the playoffs. He finishes in 12th. Sean Lottison in the 13th position. Fluman and Knighton round out the top 15. Coming home in 16th was Matt Jorgensen. Evan Keese, Jake Elrod, Edward Jurgen, and Brandon Fronapple took some turns up front. They finish and round out the top 20.
And the rundown, it includes Michael Woolley, Ben Carver, and Art Moline. The full field rundown of 23 starters. Ramsey, Dipple, Wiley, all officials for the Ezra Cup Series. And again, Jason Wiley, or I'm sorry, Trent Barnes will be making his debut next week as a Thunder driver into the Pro Series for the playoffs, along with Jason Johnson, Kendall Tucker, and some new names we'll see next Monday. Coming up, Clan Wars Servers post-race wrap-up. Okay, I know it was kind of a snooze fest most of the way at Richmond, but when it got down to the end, it was a shootout and one for the ages. Matt Lovett steals one. From Mayhew, we'll talk to the drivers when we come back on LSR TV and CRN Sports coverage of the Ezra Cup Series. Gamers hosting gamers worldwide, it is time for Clan Wars Servers post-race wrap-up. By the way, Clan Wars Servers is the official communications partner of Live Sim Racing. And joining us, Greg Rance, Wesley Outland, Charles Whitten, the production chair. What a wild one here in the Barnes Paving and Trucking 280, the final race of the regular season for the Ezra Pro Series. When it's all said and done, Matt Lovett steals one, 5th win on the season. Number 1 seed wins the last race of the regular season, moving into the playoffs next week in Vegas. We'll talk to him and more. Right now, let's talk to our 3rd place finisher, the number 48 of Kentucky, Matt Cherry. Matt, well, sum up how you feel about Richmond. What a crazy race. It was kind of a snooze fest. Boy, those last 30 laps were entertaining, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That last lap, I didn't think I was going to be able to hold on to that. I apologize to Casey. I didn't mean to take him out like that, but it took everything I had to hold on to it.
Matt, you led 73 laps today, taking turns out front, mostly off pit cycles, but on that last restart with about 40 to go, talk about that when all of a sudden you find yourself with a big lead late in the race after the restart. What's going through your mind when you suddenly realize you have a shot to hold on and perhaps maybe even steal it?
Yeah, we would have, I don't know if we'd have won, but it'd have been real close there at the end because I had like 3-second lead. And some lap cars tangled up, and I ended up losing like a second. But I think I could have held him off, but that caution came out, and I was on my last set of tires, so we didn't have no more.
Well, Matt, and now we switch gears. You've got that win at Talladega. What a wild show that was. You were down in the hunt to winning this one. You end up 3rd on the podium. What's your thoughts as you move into the postseason, fighting for a championship for Incognito Racing next Monday at Vegas?
I can't wait, man. It was tonight's race was fun. It just we got behind on pit cycles. You know, we'd pit a little early, and Josh, you know, he would pit a little late, and he would come out on top with fresher tires.
All right, buddy. Before we let you go, thank your sponsors. Thanks.
All right, I appreciate it.
Yeah, you have any sponsors? Anybody want to thank?
Yeah, just Lowe's, Ally. Thanks to Brandon for putting all this together. If it wasn't for him, none of us be here tonight.
That's right. Yeah, big thanks. Matt Cherry, the Kentucky native. He'll finish in the number 3 spot. 2nd spot going to go to Josh Mayu. Oh, man. Josh, my heart breaks for you, bud. I mean, what's your take of the race and having to go through a double overtime to try to win this thing, finishing 2nd?
Yeah, that one's going to hurt for a while, man. We tried. Definitely had the car to win. Was on a rail all night. But things happen. We'll move on.
Josh, you led the most laps tonight with 94. Looked like it took your car, though, roughly 7 to 10 laps to get going on the short run. But, man, once things got going under green, that number 02 was a rocket tonight.
Yeah, I was telling myself I have nothing for the short run. Save my stuff, be there at the end for the long run. And it worked. We pitted later than everybody else. That helped big time. I think I almost lapped the whole field other than 3 or 4 cars at one point. Something happened in that under that caution when I went through to pit, but I rolled through because the caution came out, and then I don't know what happened. That's where it was all over from the rest of the race.
Well, do you think you've at least done enough to put yourself in the postseason to run for a championship, Josh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've had some good races here. Almost won a few of them, 2 or 3 of them. We had a good shot at it. We'll get one of these bad boys.
Before I let you go, thank your sponsors, bud.
Yeah, Harley Davidson, definitely got to thank them. Got to thank my team. Haters make us famous. Anthony couldn't be with us tonight. He's having some issues with his computer. Sean did a good job tonight. The league, Brandon, doing a great job. You guys put on a broadcast, top notch. Thank you all.
Josh Mayhew from New York holds his head up high. He'll go to the postseason with a runner-up finish here at Richmond. And finally, we'll talk to the winner who has won 5 out of the last 10 races as we move into the postseason. He will be the number 1 seed, the driver, the number 41 out of Bristol, Tennessee, Matt Lovett. Matt, congratulations. You stole this one. I think that's the best way to use it in the headline story coming up.
Yeah, I feel bad. I feel really bad for Josh Mayo and Matt Cherry there. Josh had the car to beat. There was no question about it. He was on a great strategy. Unfortunately, the caution came out at the wrong time for him. I shouldn't have won that one. We shouldn't have won that one. It was just a bad track. Just nothing was going our way. It was definitely a hard one.
Matt, 4 wins on the season coming into tonight. We talked a little bit before we went back on the air while we were waiting for commercials to wrap up that you and your teammate Hank Caston were even debating even finishing out the race because you're like, well, we're already locked in. We don't really need to go for it. But after all things considered, I gotta say you're probably pretty proud or pretty happy that you did stick it out.
Yeah, I was texting my spotter Corey, and we weren't going to be here. We were going to take the night off just because. But then Corey was like, "No, we can go after a win here." I was like, "Okay," and so we're here. It's I don't know. This track was never been good to me at all. So it's just one of those things. Luck happens.
Matt, final question, and we'll let you throw out your sponsors as well on that 41. What's the mindset going into the postseason next week at Vegas? You've also got these contenders on the Ezra Pro Series and some new Thunder drivers that are moving up the ranks as well to run for a championship. What's it going to take to hold on to that number 1 spot and be the champion when the season ends?
Stay consistent. That's going to be the key. Is just getting top 5s. Not necessarily having to win. Just getting the top 5, especially with the, I think it's going to be the 9-point lead that we're going to have going into it. So just got to keep it clean, make it to the end, and hopefully come up as a champion there at the end. That's all I got.
Thank your sponsors.
National Alliance on Mental Illness, my main sponsor there. NVIDIA, I'd like to thank Brandon and all the admin team for everything they do. You guys for putting on this broadcast. And yeah, everyone that watches, appreciate it. We'll see you next week.
Matt Lovett has 1 out of 10 regular season races, 5, picking up his 5th win tonight here at Richmond in the Barnes Grading and Paving Trucking 280 here at the Richmond Raceway. And that will wrap up the Clan Wars Servers post-race wrap-up. Clan Wars Servers is the official communications partner of Live Sim Racing. Greg Ranch, your final thoughts, buddy, before we wrap it up and move into the playoffs next Monday night at Las Vegas.
Tonight's race, Wesley, showed just how quickly things can change here in the world of stock car racing, sim racing, whichever you want to call it. It can change in the blink of an eye, and suddenly you have a wild finish of an otherwise clean race, but the last 40 laps definitely showed you, again, just how quickly things can change. Moving on to the playoffs next week, and again, stay tuned to our new website, www.livesimracingtv.com, for your official playoff grid. Once all the points are finalized, we will try to post it for you. So make sure you check us out at www.livesimracingtv.com. We'll be sure to get you the playoff grid once it's in and official as we get set for next week's race, round 1 of the playoffs coming up, Wesley.
That's right. Again, those final 12 spots to determine the round of 12 will be narrowed out, and we'll determine it right then very soon. Who will fight for a championship round 1 next Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, right here on LSR TV and CRN Sports at wearecrn.com from Las Vegas. A great job for all of the drivers of the Ezra Pro Series here tonight. But when it's said and done, Matt Lovett picks up his 5th win, the number 1 seed going to the postseason. Next week, it should be a fun time. We're less than an hour away for our next broadcast coverage, beginning at 11:15 Eastern with round 2 of the West Bay Napa Auto Parts iRacing Cup Series from Watkins Glen. For executive producer Charles Wooten, for Greg Rentz, I'm Wesley Outland. Continue to follow us at LiveSimRacingTV.com and at WeAreCRN.com for coverage of the great racing action we always provide. God bless you all. Please keep on praying for America. We'll see you for the playoffs next week in Vegas.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of LSR TV and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of 52 Media LLC and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. LSR TV would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.